This is the part 3 of the video, build production-ready AI agents. We're going to start by fixing bugs and issues discovered in the second part. And then we're going to talk about RabbitMQ advanced feature. We're going to talk about data letter exchange, and we're going to talk about data letter queue. Then we're going to talk about retry pattern in microservice architecture. We're going to talk about retry, and we're going to talk about exponential backoff. After that, we're going to talk about circuit breaker. We're going to learn what is circuit breaker and how it works. We're going to talk about different states of a circuit breaker, like closed, open, and half open. Then we're going to move to the last chapter where we're going to prepare our app to production, and we're going to set up a VPS server. Let's get started. Alright guys, before we start with the deployment, we're going to go through some issues discovered by our member. Our member has discovered some critical issues within the source code of the microservice video. Okay, we're gonna fix them together. And by the way, shout out to this incredible man. Now, here's what he has said here while reviewing the source code. I came across a few things that made me curious, and I was wondering if these could be interesting topics for a community video or code review. Here's the first issue, guys. For authentication, some APIs seem to take the user ID directly from the request. Would it be safer to always derive the user identity from the verified JSON web token instead? Okay, that was the first issue. We got other issue at the bottom here. We're gonna come back to that later. Okay, now let's start with the first one. I've already copied in here. Okay, this is the first one. It talks about the authentication issue. If I head into the front end, let me head into the agent slice. This is the agent slice. In order to fetch a list of agents, we use the thing here, get agents. We use that. And as you can see in here, I pass here the user ID. In order to retrieve a list of agents that belongs to that user ID. Our member said we should remove the user ID from the request. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the user ID and I'm gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna get rid of the user ID. And then what we're gonna do, guys, we're going to retrieve the user ID from the token. If I head into the browser here and I tap local storage.getrm, as you can see, we got a token within the local storage. We are going to use the token in order to retrieve the user ID. Okay, if I move to the backend here and I head into, let's say we get into the Auth Service, and inside the Auth Service, let me head into, I'm gonna head into ATP. Let's look for JSON web token here. I wanna show you something. Let me head into Auth Service. You can see within the Auth Service, we got these helper functions. You can see past the user ID to the JSON web token payload function. We pass it in here. And when we want to generate a token, we use the user ID. Right here, you can see payload. We pass the payload to the sum function, and then we're going to generate a token. Now, as we got the token on the front end, we are going to use the token in order to retrieve the user ID. Now, let's get into the gateway. I'm going to head into the gateway service, and inside the gateway, we got a function here, a middleware. Let me head into the middleware folder. You can see we have this. We have verify express token. We use the middleware in order to verify the token provided by the user if it's valid. If it's not valid, we're gonna throw an error here. If it's valid, we're going to continue. Now, what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to retrieve the user ID from the token. Now, here's what I'm gonna do here. I'm passing this. Authenticator request, extends request, and then we're gonna pass here this authenticator request. We're gonna pass it that interface, and then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to move here. Okay, I'm not heading to the callback here, and I'm gonna pass you this user ID. I'm not extract it from the payload. I pass here payload.sub. If we don't have here the user ID, we're gonna throw an error. We're gonna return this response unauthenticated. Okay, we're gonna throw the status is gonna be 401 message unauthorized. Now I'm going to attach the user ID within the request. Okay, nothing else, and then we're gonna get the user ID. Okay, we finish in here. Okay, we finish. We're gonna try and see if it's gonna work. Okay, now what I'm doing here, I'm going to head into we're gonna head into now the root folder. Okay, let's head into root folder, task roots. Now let's head in, and then we're gonna take here verify express. Okay, we're gonna take the middle area, we're gonna take that, and then we're gonna pass it right here. Yeah, I'm gonna pass it here. Okay, here, and here too, and here, and right here too. Okay, like this. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to move to front end, and then I'm going to extract the token here. Let's get into the get use data. I'm not heading. You can see this is the function that we use in order to retrieve data from the local storage. Now I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm pass it here and pass here get user token like this, and here get use data and pass here token. As you can see, pass here. Yeah, let me pass here this again. You can see we need to pass here token, and then we're gonna pass access token, and pass it token, and then you can see we have in the property. This is the property here, which is the access token. Access token. I'm gonna copy it, and we're gonna pass it in here, guys. Okay, like this. Now we're gonna get the user token. I'm gonna copy the function. We're gonna head into the make HTTP function, and I'm pass here const access token is equal to this. And then we're gonna comment here, we're gonna send the authorization. It's gonna see pass here bear, and then I pass here the access token. Okay, like this. Now let me go back to the server here. I wanna check here something. Okay, let me head into the create agent function. I think we are going to pass here this, and pass here userId is equal to rec that userId. Okay, like this. Rec the userId. We're gonna extract the userId here. If I head into the JSON web token, you can see we pass here this. Rec the userId is equal to userId. Now we need the userId here, and I'm going to export that in first. I'm gonna export it. Okay, I'm gonna take it, and then we're gonna head into the agent's RPC. We're gonna pass it in here like this. Now let's import here this. Okay, and I'm passing const. I'm gonna remove the userId from the body. Pass here res object like this. This is the structuring. I remove the userId like this. Okay, like this. I'm getting here later, and let me get rid of this. And then what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to pass here the res object. Let me pass here res object like this, and then when I pass here the userId is gonna be rec the userId like this. Okay, pretty cool. Now let me copy here. I'm gonna move here, update agent ID. Here, right here, I think we're gonna pass here let me get into the gRPC folder. You can see this is the gRPC folder, proto agents. Now, as you can see here, update agents. To update an agent, we use here that. You can see pass here the userId. As you can see, we pass here the userId. We need to pass it in here too. Now I'm going to copy this type here. I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna pass it right here like this. I'm going to copy the res object and pass it in here like this. Okay. For the userId, we're gonna pass here userId and pass here right that userId like this. userId, I'm going to copy this, and then we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, like this. Now let's scroll at the bottom here and pass here these two, and you can see pass here this userId. In order to get the userId, I'm pass here only this. I'm not gonna pass the userId again within the request. Okay, I'm gonna pass here this. Okay, let me scroll the bottom here. This is the agents. Okay, let's scroll a little bit again. You can see pass here this and pass here rec again, And we're going to copy this in order to remove this typing error. Okay, like this. Okay, pretty cool. We just finished. Okay, we're gonna move on the front end and we're gonna try this. Agent slice, let me move at the bottom here, no error. As you can see, we don't pass here again the userId. We don't pass here the userId. Okay, and we're gonna get data. Okay, now let's try this. I'm going to go back here, I'm gonna move here, and then I'm gonna restart here the server. As you can see, guys, the server is up. Now let's move here. We're gonna try this again. Let me copy this email. I wanna log in. Let me copy this. Now we're gonna pass that email. And I'm passing this password 1234567A like this. Now let's click sign in. Let's see what we're gonna get here, guys. As you can see, they take us on the agent page. Okay, you can see we fetch a list of agents. We don't pass here the user ID within the request. We resolve that issue. Okay, we resolve it. If I move here, we fix this. Okay, we fix here this issue. Okay, we don't pass the user ID here again. It's gonna work. Now let me try to create an agent here and pass here these agents. Let me pass here this email automation. Yeah, let me pass here a good name. Let me pass here this agents, customer support. So we're gonna pass it the goal. Okay, the goal of that agent responds. I can pass here response to FAQ questions. And then we're gonna pass here the persona, be professional. Okay, and then we're gonna pass here e-commerce. Okay, like this. I'm gonna try to create an agent. So now let me head into the console. I wanna check here something. I'm gonna check what I'm gonna send to the server here. And you're gonna see, let's move here. Okay, let me first head into the create agent model. Okay, agent model. Okay, this is the agent model. And as you can see, within the model, as you can see, pass the user ID. I can comment here this. Let me check here. You can see. Let me move into the agent page. I want to show something. Agent page. Okay, agent page like this. I want to show something. I move at the top here. Okay, yeah, you can see. Let me scroll a little bit. Handle creator update agents. You can see in here, we pass here the data. And inside the data, we got the user ID. If I head into the agent model, we're gonna get rid of the user ID. Agent model like this. Now I'm gonna comment here this, and I'm commenting this. Okay, we don't send the user ID. Okay, as you can see, we don't send it. And I'm going to comment here to the I'm gonna comment this property user ID. You can see we comment it. Okay, I'm gonna comment in here too. Okay, I'm gonna comment in here too. As you can see, we don't pass the user ID, and I'm getting here errors as we don't pass this. Okay, let's head into the agent page, and I'm gonna move at the bottom here. We're gonna get rid of this line. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this line. Now let's head into the browser and try to create an agent, and you're gonna see it's gonna work. Okay, because on the server we're gonna use the token in order to get the user ID. Now let me pass here a random user ID and pass here this real quickly. Okay, we're gonna pass here FAQ agents, and then we're gonna pass here be professional, and we're gonna pass here e-commerce. Okay, like this. Now let's move into the network. I'm gonna click here create agent. Let me copy this 2 times. Okay, we want to move fast and pass this again. Okay, like this. Now let's click here create agents. There we go. We create an agent, guys. We create an agent. As you can see, if I move here, you can see we pass it the user ID. Okay, we pass it in here. Okay, this is the response. Yeah, as you can see, this is the response. Now let's head into the payload and see what we pass here. As you can see, inside the payload, we don't send the user ID. Okay, it means on the server we use the token in order to get it. Okay, that's cool, guys. It works. It works pretty well. Okay, Now that we finished with the first issue, we're gonna resolve the second one. Okay, now let me move here when I read here the second issue. For WebSocket communication, it looks like events are broadcast quite broadly. How should user, thread, tenant isolation ideally be handled here to avoid message being exposed across session? Now, let me show you the state of our system. Actually, if I come here, let's say I move here. Okay, this is the iframe. I take the iframe and then I pass it into a new incognito window. Let me open here window and pass in here. Let's say I open here another window. I pass it in here. And then I head into the admin section. I move to the session page and I pick a session created by this window. And let's say I send him a message. This message is going to be broadcast to all these windows. Okay, we're going to broadcast the session to this window, and to another window, and so on. If we got 5 windows, we're going to broadcast the message to 5 windows. If we got 10, we're going to broadcast the message to 10 windows. And this is bad. Okay, that's what we did in the second part. Now we're going to fix it. Okay, now let me show you how we're going to do it. Let's say the user, let's say we got, this is the admin side. Okay, this is the admin side. Okay, let's say a user visit our website and pass here admin side. We got the admin here. And then we have deployed an agent onto another website added right here. This is the website where the chatbot is embedded. Okay, now when a user is gonna visit our website, we are going to create a chat room. Every time a user visits this embedded page here, we're gonna create a chat room. Okay, let's say this visits a user visits a website, we create a chat room. Let's say another user visits the website. Let me click here in the incognito window. Another user visits the website. We create 2 chat room. Okay, we create 2 chat room. We're gonna have here something like this. Okay, 2 chat room. Now, as you know, every time a user visits the website, we create a row within the session table. If I move to the sessions page here, we're going to create a row. Every time a user visits, we got a new visitor on our website, we're going to create a session. We're gonna pass in here. Now the admin is gonna see we got a user, we got a session, we have here another session. If we got another user, we're gonna have here another session. Now, if the admin decide to join this session, okay, decide to join this session, it's gonna see only it's gonna interact only with this user. Let's say the admin sends a message to the user. We are going to broadcast the message only within the chat window, within the chat room. Okay, you know, every time a user visits, a user visits our website, we create a chat room, okay, like this. Now when the admin is gonna join the chat room, okay, we are going to be able to interact only with the user. If the admin send a message to the user, this user will only see that. Okay, will only see that. And the chat room here will be the thread ID. This is the chat. This is the chat room. Okay, you know, every time a user is gonna visit a website where we got this embedded chatbot, we create a random session ID. Let me head into the chat SDK. I want to show you this. If I head into the chat SDK, you can see we got here this function, generate session code. This is a random code generated when a given user visits our when a user visits a website where the agent is embedded. We generate a random session ID, and this session ID is basically the thread ID, and that's what we're gonna call the chat room. Okay, now here, if the admin decides to join the chat room here, is going to interact only with the user. If he join here, the chat room is going to interact only with the user, and the message will be broadcast only to these 2 persons, not to other users. Okay, Now, let me show you how to do it. We are going to move to the backend, and what we're going to do, we're going to get into the WebSocket server.ts. Now, if you notice in here, we got this function broadcast. This function broadcasts a message to every connected user, okay? To every connected user, and it is bad, okay? Now we're gonna fix that. So we're gonna broadcast the message only to the person who has joined the room, okay? Now let me show you how to do it. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna define rooms. This is a map. A map is collections of unique keys, okay? Unique keys. Now this is a map here, and then what I'm going to do, every time a user visits our website, we are going to create a chat room. Now I'm passing a join room. This is a function that we're going to use in order to join the room. It takes here the room ID and the WebSocket. I'm going to check here if is undefined. We are going to add the room ID within the set. Else I'm going to check if we got it, we're going to retrieve it. We're going to pass another function, leave room. It takes the room ID and a WebSocket. Whenever a user leave a room, we are going to broadcast that event. So we're going to invoke that function. And as you can see in here, I retrieve the room ID. If it doesn't exist, we're going to return here undefined. If it exists, we're going to delete it from the, we're going to delete it from the, we're going to delete it from the room. We're going to delete it from the map. Okay, as you can see, this is a map. Rooms is a map. We're going to delete it from the map. Now I'm going to pass here. Now we're going to pass in our function broadcast to room. We're going to use the function in order to broadcast a message within a room. Now, as you can see, we get here the room ID, and then we pass the data. Okay, pass a message using the stringify, and then we're going to send it. Pass the client that sends. Okay, like this. Now we're going to continue a little bit. We're going to head into the start WebSocket save function. Now let's head into in here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass here client that's on message. If you got a message, I'm passing the type. Case join room. I'm going to check if you get that event. We're going to first here, case join room. Okay. If we got this event, what I'm going to do, I'm going to retrieve the room ID from the data. If is undefined, we're going to close the connection. Else, we are going to we're going to invoke here join room function. We pass it the room ID and the client, and then we're going to send the room ID to the client. Okay, you can see pass the tab. The tab of the event is room joined, and we're going to send the room ID, which is the thread ID. Okay, nothing else. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to head into the post chat gRPC, and what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to get rid of this function broadcast. If we let this function here, we're going to broadcast an event to every connected user, and it's not good. I'm passing here broadcast, broadcast to room. Now I'm passing here, we're gonna pass the thread ID like this. Okay, I'm gonna copy that. You're gonna scroll a little bit, broadcast, and pass here broadcast to room. Let's pass the thread ID like this. Let's scroll and I pass here broadcast to room. I'm gonna pass the thread ID like this. Okay, nothing else. I'm going to head into the task routes here, and I'm gonna scroll a little bit. You can see we have here that endpoint in order to determine if a human has took over the chat. If a human has took over the chat, we're gonna return here this. We're gonna return tab take over the chat true. Else, we're gonna pass here false. Now let me pass here cons thread ID. I'm gonna send the thread ID rec, and then I'm gonna pass here that query. We're gonna send to, and then pass here thread ID. Okay, let me pass here to this option chaining is string like this. Now I'm going to pass here broadcast, broadcast to room here, and then we're gonna pass here thread ID like this. We're gonna take the function, we're gonna pass in here, and then we're gonna pass here thread ID like this. Okay, we just finish like this. We just finish on the backend. On the backend, we are good, guys. Okay, everything is going pretty good on the backend. Okay, we just finished here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna just check here something. Let me check here real quickly some stuff. Okay, I'm gonna check here some stuff. Okay, everything is okay in here. Everything is okay in here. Let me scroll. Everything is okay in here. Okay, and okay, everything is okay. Now let's move on the front end. Okay, now let's get into the child window. Okay, this is the child window that is components. Now what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to scroll a little bit. You can see we have here this function here, back to AI, and we have another function, back to human. We use the function in order to broadcast, to notify on the backend that the AI is took over the child. You can see AI take over the child. Actor is equal to AI. We use the function to notify another client, to notify a customer, a connected customer, that the AI is take over the child. And we use this one to notify the customer that a human is took over the child. Now we are going to pass it to the thread ID like this. As you can see, if I move to the backend, you can see in here, I pass here, I retrieve here the thread ID, and then I pass it to the broadcast room. We pass in here. Okay, like this. Now let me go back here. I'm going to scroll a little bit. WebSocket that's on open. When we open the connection, we are going to send that event. Okay, WebSocket that send JSON string file. We're gonna send that event on the backend, join room, and the room ID is gonna be here, the thread ID, nothing else. Okay, and at the bottom here, I'm pass here another case room join. We're going to console this, and we just finished, guys. Now let's get into the browser and try this. Now let's try this. I'm gonna move here. Okay, our app is running. Now what I'm going to do here, guys, is to open here a new incognito window. This is a new incognito window, and then I'm passing this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, right here, I'm gonna do this. Okay, if I move to the session page here, this is the admin. You can see here, I'm gonna move this a little bit. Now you can see in here, guys, we got here this session. This is the previous session. Okay, now when I'm going to tap enter, I'm going to create another session. If I tap here enter, okay, we create here another session. If I refresh the page, okay, we get another session. This is another session. Okay, you can see we get here this one. Now I'm going to do this. I'm gonna move here. I'm going to open here another window. Let me tap enter. Okay, as I tap enter, we are going to create, we're gonna console here the room ID. Room ID, you can see this room ID, it is here WP. As you can see, room ID WP. Now let me move here. I'm going to pick the room here, WP. You can see WP. Let me click here. Okay, I'm gonna click here, and then let me open here this. Let me click here, take over the chat. You can see with that we don't broadcast an event to this window at the right. Let me move here to this window here. Okay, let me open here this. You can see we broadcast here an event. Now let me pass here hello. And then if I move here, you can see we get the mess here. I'm passing how are you admin, and I'm tap enter. Let's move here. You can see we get here how are you admin. Now let me open here another window. Okay, I'm going to click here on Chrome. I'm going to pick here this user here, and what we're gonna do here, I'm going to pick, yeah, let me pick here the URL here, and then you're gonna see how you're gonna work. We're gonna pass in here. Now in here, you can see we don't have anything. If I move into the console tab here and I zoom a little bit, you can see we create here now a session ID. It ends with BBB, 0 BBB. Let's move here. Let's say the admin wanna interact with a user. Let me refresh here to see. You can see it ends with BBB. As you can see, it ends with BBB. And you can see in here, the admin has created the chat here. Now let me click here and then take over the chat and pass here hi. Let's move here. You can see for this user here, we got this. Okay, you can see is the window where we have BBB session. Yeah, this is the BBB session. Okay, now let me close here. You can see we got here, hi. We don't pass the message here. And then I pass here, hello. I pass here this, how's it going? I'm click here, send. Okay, yeah, I quit here, I'm click, how's it going? I'm pass here, going like this, and then tap enter. Let's move here. You can see we got here this. I'm pass here, good, and then I'm tap enter. You can see we got here this. Okay, you can see actually works pretty well. And you can see for this window here, it doesn't receive the message. Actually, we fixed that issue. And if you want to add a stuff, okay, add a feature on top of this, you can try to add it, guys. Okay, just to get an idea, I fixed that issue. Okay, we fixed the second issue here. We fixed it. Okay, now let me show you. You can see send issue. Yeah, the second issue is resolved. And pass here. Second issue is resolved. Okay, we fixed that. We are going to move on to another issue, and then we're gonna continue. Alright guys, now that we finished working on the first and second issue, we're gonna work on the third one. And that brings us on RabbitMQ advanced feature. We're gonna talk about DLX, dead letter exchange, and DLQ, dead letter queue. Now let me go back here. I wanna write here the third issue. Okay, here's the third issue. In the RabbitMQ notification flow, what happens if the SMTP delivery fails, but the message is still acts? Would a retry mechanism or DLQ be a better approach? The man is totally right. You know, actually, in our code, we don't have a retry mechanism. Let's say a user land on our website. Okay, land on our website, and then he's trying to create an account. You know, we are going to publish an event from the Auth Service, user registered. And then we're going to try to send an email to the user. Okay, we're going to try to send an email. We got here the SMTP service here. Okay, let's say this service is down for the moment. Let's say it's down. And you know, as this service is down, the user is going to be blocked here because the user will not get the OTP code in order to verify his account. Let's say the user want to use again his email. Okay, his email. You want to use his email address again. What the system is going to tell to the user, this email has already been taken. He's going to try, but eventually he's going to abandon. Now, in order to resolve that issue, we are going to put in place a retry mechanism. Let's say a user land on our website. Okay, the user want to create an account. Okay, we're going to publish an event, and then we're going to use the SMTP delivery in order to send an email. Let's say this service is down. What I'm going to do in here is this service is down. I'm going to take the user message. We're going to take the user message, and then we're going to put it onto a sub queue here that we call DLQ. Dead letter queue. Okay, dead letter queue. We're gonna take the failed message, and then we're gonna put it, we're gonna store it into the DLQ. Let me move here. You can see the DLQ stands for dead letter queue, is a specialized sub queue in the computer messaging system. It stores messages that cannot be processed or delivered successfully after repeated attempts. We are going to take the message, and then we're going to store it into the DLQ. And then what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for 10 seconds. We're going to wait here. Wait for 10 seconds. And then we're going to try to resend the message. Okay, you know, we got our message within the DLQ. We're going to try to resend it. Let's say for the first time, it failed here. We tried to resend it, doesn't work. For the second time, we wait again. Let's say we wait again 10 seconds here. It doesn't work. And then for the third time here, it works. For the third time, the user receives the code. Okay, the user receives the code and then the user can log in. So what if for the third time here it doesn't work? For the third time, let's say we try for the third time in order to send the message, but it failed. What we're gonna do, we're going to take the message and then we're going to store it within the DLQ, and we are going to start there, okay, because we're going to exceed here the number of attempts. Okay, we're going to set the number of attempts within our system is going to be here 3. Okay, we are going to set a retry mechanism. Okay, I think you get the idea, guys. Okay, now let's go back here. We're going to talk about DLX. I've already said previously, DLX stands for Date Late Exchange. Is a system that allows to handle a undelivered message. Okay, that's what we call DLX. If you have a look to this little diagram, you can see we have the producer. Okay, produce a message, and then we pass the message to the consumer. If the SMTP delivery service is up and running, we are going to consume that event. Okay, we're going to consume that event here. If the SMTP service is down, what we're going to do, we're going to set up a date late exchange. Okay, we're going to set up this system that allows to handle undelivered message. We're going to set up this system, and when we set up this system, we're going to set up to the date later queue. The date later queue is a specialized sub queue in a computer messaging system. It stores message that cannot be processed. Okay, that's what I said previously. We're going to set up the date later exchange, and we're going to set up the date later queue. Now let's get into the code and see how our system works actually. Okay, and then we're gonna pull the DLX and the DLQ in place. As you can see, we have here the main exchange, user.events, and we have here the main queue, email notifications. Now let me scroll a little bit. You can see right here we create the channel first, and then we set up the exchange. We set up the main exchange here, which is the user.events. Then we assert and bind an event to the queue. Okay, you can see past the channel, that's bound queue. We pass here main exchange, which is use that event, and then we are listening to that event here, user created, and then we're going to consume it in here. As you can see we invoke here the function send email. If I click here, you can see we use here node mail in order to send an email. Let's say we have here an error. This function throws an error. If it throws an error, I'm going to invoke here the ACK function. As you can see, we invoke here ACK function. Okay, this function here. If I click here, you can see ACK. We invoke the function in order to notify RabbitMQ that this operation has been run successfully. Okay, we invoke the ACK function. We invoke in here, and that is bad. If it works, we are going to invoke this, and if it doesn't work, we're going to invoke the function in order to signal RabbitMQ that everything works pretty well, and it's not. Now, what I'm going to do in here, guys, in order to mitigate to these kind of issues, we are going to set up the DLQ and DLX. Okay, now let me move at the top here. Now, what I'm going to do, now I'm going to pass the DLX name is equal to email.dlx, DLQ is equal to email.notification DLQ. We're going to pass the DLQ writing key is equal to email.fields. Now I'm going to pass here free constant in order to define the retry queues. We're going to have a retry queue for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and 2 minutes. The total number of retries is going to be 3 here. Now, in order to set up the DLQ, in order to set up the dates later queue infrastructure, we are going to scroll a little bit under the create channel function here. I'm going to pass here this channel.rc exchange. We're going to set up the DLX and we're going to set up the DLQ. Okay, and then we're going to pass here bound queue. We're going to pass DLQ name, DLX name, and DLQ writing key like this in order to set up the date later infrastructure. Now I'm going to scroll here. I'm going to scroll a little bit, and then we're going to move to this section here, channel.rset. You can see pass the main queue. I'm going to pass here an argument, and you can see pass here 2 headers. We pass here the X date layer exchange is equal to DLX name, and we pass here the X date letter writing key is equal to DLQ writing key. Now I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Under the BandQ function, we're gonna pass here a web promise data. As you can see, we invoke here function create retry queue. We invoke here the function 3 times. We're gonna create a retry queue for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and 2 minutes. And then I'm gonna pass here a wait channel prefetch. This function allows to control how many messages RabbitMQ can give to your consumer at once. Now we are going to head into the channel.consumer function. Now we're gonna get into the consume function, and then we're gonna pass here try catch. Okay, inside the callback, we are going to pass here try catch. And inside the catch block here, you can see I invoke here a function handle retry. It takes here the channel and the message. Now, let me head into the RabbitMQ folder. You can see we have a file handle retry. Let's head in order to pass in the logic, the retry logic. I'm going to import the DLQ writing key, DLX name, main queue, retry 10 seconds, retry 2 minutes, retry 30-second queue. We're going to import these constants. Let me go back here. I'm going to pass here, I'm passing export like this. Let me copy that. And then I'm passing here, right here, here, and here. Okay, let me scroll a little bit again. Pass it here, right here, and here, like this. Okay, pretty cool. Now let's go back here. As you can see, we get rid of the error. Now I'm going to pass here handle retry. We pass here the channel and the message. Now I'm gonna pass here this logic in order to handle retry. Okay, if you wanna get the code, guys, I copy literally everything here. You can head on the documentation. They explain how to set up this stuff. Okay, they explain how to set up this stuff. Okay, everything is here, guys. Okay, head on the doc. You're gonna copy everything here. Okay, now I'm going to continue. As you can see in here, I pass here if retry count is equal to 0. We are going to invoke publish to retry queue. We're gonna retry for 10 seconds, then we're gonna retry for 30 seconds, and then we're going to retry for 2 minutes. If this doesn't work, we're gonna move to this. If these two doesn't work, we're going to move to this. If these two doesn't work, we are going to pass the message to the DLQ. We're going to store the message within the DLQ. As you can see, maximum retry reach, moving message to DLQ. We're going to store the message within the DLQ. Okay. And as you can see, pass here channel.publish, DLX name, DLQ writing key, message contents. And then you're going to remove the original message from the queue. Now I'm going to pass here the function publish to retry queue. As you can see, pass the channel send to queue. It takes here the queue name and the contents. Let's pass here the create retry queue. We use the function in order to create retry queues. We pass here our say queue, pass the queue name, and we pass here these arguments. Okay, like this, nothing else. Okay, we finish in here. Okay, we finish in here. Now we're gonna try this. Okay, we're gonna try this. Okay, if you don't understand anything, head on the doc. You're gonna follow the process. Okay, on the documentation we got the process that we have to follow in order to set up the DLQ and DLX. Okay, we have the process. Okay, you don't have to memorize this. You have to understand what is the DLQ and DLX, how they work, and then you can head on the doc. You can copy the code. We got literally everything on the documentation, guys. Literally everything is there. Okay, as we finish in here, what we're gonna do is to run all our containers. Okay, we're gonna start up all our containers. Let me check in here if we have here an error. No error, guys. We don't have here an error. Now I'm going to move here. I'm gonna head into Docker. I'm gonna click here notification service, and then I'm gonna click here clear terminal. Now I'm gonna click here restarts. As you can see, the notification service is up and running. And you can see in here we got this stuff. Retry queue created. Email that notification that retry for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Now let me try to create here user. I'm gonna click here sign up and pass here Alice and pass here this random email and I'm pass here a random password. Okay, now let me click here sign up. Okay, let me check here if you're gonna send an email verification. We sent to you an email verification. Now let me head into RabbitMQ. Okay, I'm not heading to Mailtrap. You can see we sent an email verification here. Now I want to simulate retry. You can see if I head into the notification service, we got the function send email in order to send an email. Now I'm going to throw an error. I'm going to copy this stuff here in order to throw an error for the first attempt. You can see let email attempt is equal to 0. Now here you can see email attempt plus plus, and then I check here email attempt, then I check if the email attempt is equal to 1, we are going to throw an error. For the first time, we're going to throw an error, and then for the second time, we are going to pull the message into the DLQ, and then we're going to resend it after 10 seconds. Now let me copy this and see if it's going to work. I'm going to copy this, and let's move here. I want to pass you this stuff. Okay, we're going to try this. Now what I'm going to do again here, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna move here and pass here we're gonna pass here docker compose down. I'm gonna pull down the notification service. Okay, we're gonna put it down, and also I'm gonna put it down RabbitMQ docker compose down, and then I'm pass here RabbitMQ. Okay, as you can see, we stop here RabbitMQ and notification service. Okay, now pass docker compose app -d and pass here notification service, and now pass here RabbitMQ. Like this, we're gonna tap enter, and then we're gonna start up these containers, and we're gonna try it again. Okay, let me move here. I'm gonna move into Docker. As you can see, we have here RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ is running. Okay, let's wait a bit. As you can see, the notification service is running. You can see retry queue created for 10 seconds, 30 and 2 minutes. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna move here. Now let's click here, sign up. Okay, let's see what we're gonna get here. Okay, we sent to you an email verification. Let me check if we found an error. I want to head into, you can see, this is notification service. As you can see, email sending fails, error, simulating SMTP failure. Okay, we for the first time we found an error, and then current retry. You can see 0 here. Message schedule for retry number 1 via email notification that retry 10 seconds. Email sent successfully works. It works, guys. If I head into Mailtrap, you can see we send here an email. Okay, it works pretty well. Okay, you can see that retry works. Okay, if the SMTP delivery service is down, we are going to pull the message within the DLQ, and then we're gonna resend it later. And that's pretty much it, guys, for this section. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, guys, we already fixed 3 issues out of 6. Now we're gonna move to the 4th one. Let me go back here. I wanna read it real quickly. In the AI memory wrap flow, I noticed an embedding char where agent ID doesn't seem to be included. Could that affect vector metadata filtering and retrieval for different agents? Yes, it could affect metadata filtering for the different agents if we don't have the agent ID. I've already fixed that error in the second part. I've added the agent ID. Okay, if we don't have the agent ID, it could affect metadata filtering. Okay, it's better to add it. I've already do it in the second part. When the context exceed the token limits, the compression logic seems to update the stored memory. But does the current LLM request actually receive the compressed context? You want to know why I pass the compressed context to the LLM and we already empty the working memory? That is the question. Let me explain you why I do this. You know when the user make an HTTP request, okay, we pass it to the working memory. The working memory looks like this. Okay, like this. We have a list of message here. Now we are going to take the working memory, and then I'm going to check if the working memory already exceed the thresholds. You know, the thresholds is 10K token. 10K token. If it already exceed the thresholds, it means the working memory is greater than this 10K token, which is the threshold. It can be a 11K token. If it's greater, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take the working memory. First, I'm going to empty the working memory. Then I'm going to take the working memory. I'm going to pass it to the LLM to have the counters. Okay, we're going to pass here the LLM for the counters. And then I'm going to take the working memory data. I'm going to pass it within the working memory archive. Okay, for keeping the data for future use. We are going to empty the working memory. And then I'm going to pass the compressed counters to the LLM so that the LLM can have can know what to do, can have the counters for that input. Okay, you know, if we empty the working memory, let's say we empty the working memory, we are going to pass anything to the LLM as counters. And as we don't pass anything to the LLM as counters, the LLM is not going to react in a predictable way. Okay, you know, if you don't pass an LLM the counters, it can react in an unpredictable way. Now, if you want the LLM react in a predictable way, it's better to pass it that data before you put it into the working memory archive. Okay, if you want to, you can go ahead and tweak the code, modify the code if you want. Now, let's move on to this one. The parent or child chain mapping seems to rely on index assumptions. Could that become incorrect if a parent produces a different number of child chains? Yeah, it cannot be incorrect. You know, every time we create parent dog, what we do here is to generate an ID for each parent dog. Let's say this is a parent dog. Parent dog. As we get parent dog, what I'm going to do, I'm going to generate an ID for the parent dog. And as I want to create child dogs, what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach this parent dog to the child's document. Okay, each child document, it's gonna possess that ID of its parent dog. Okay, it's gonna possess that ID. If it doesn't possess that ID, it's not gonna work when you're gonna try to retrieve data. It's better to generate a random ID for each parent document. And then when you use the parent document, you're gonna attach that ID to each child's document. Okay, that is the process. If you don't do that, it's not gonna work. I think I respond to that question. Now let's move on to the last issue for file uploads. Since memory storage is being used, would it make sense to add stricter file size and mem/tab limit to prevent excessive memory usage? Yeah, to be able to do that, you know, if a user upload a file of 100 megabyte, you know, it's gonna take a lot of memory. Now it's better to set limits. Let's do it. We're gonna get into the gateway. Okay, is the gateway. Now I'm gonna head into the source folder. We're gonna get into roots here. I'm gonna head into the task folder, Malta config.ts. Now what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna define here file size limit. It's gonna be here 5 megabytes. Okay, 5 megabytes. Now I'm pass here filter. I'm gonna check here the mem type. It's gonna be a PDF. We're gonna upload only a PDF. If a user upload a file which is different from a PDF, we aren't gonna accept it. Now I'm pass here, check file size type. Okay, this is a mirror. As you can see, pass here Malta, that single file. Then I'm checking here an if error code is equal to limit file size, we're gonna throw this. Okay, If we don't have an error, we're gonna continue. Now I'm gonna take the middle here, check file size and type. Check file size and MIME type. Yeah, I'm passing MIME type. We're gonna take it, and then we're gonna get into the task root and pass it in here. Okay, like this. Now let's upload it. Yeah, let's import it. Okay, like this. We finish in here. Okay, we finish with all issue, guys, and that's pretty much it, guys, for this section. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, guys, now we're going to talk about retry pattern in microservices architecture. Retries occur when an initial request to a downstream service fails or timeout. Let's say we have here two services. I'm going to pass here service A, and we have service B at the right. Service A is the gateway. The gateway wants to talk to the auth service. I make here an HTTP request to service B. As service B is down, I'm not gonna get the response. We aren't gonna return a response to service A. Okay, it's gonna fail here. Let's say service B here. Let's say service B takes more than 20 seconds in order to be up. We're gonna pass here 20 seconds in order to be up. Okay. Let's say we have retry. Okay, we go again here, service A, and pass here service A here, and service B. This time we've retry. As I said, the number of retries is going to be equal to 3. I make an HTTP request here. Service B is down here, still down. It failed here. Now, we still have here 18 minutes, 18 seconds, so that the service B can be up. I make another HTTP request to service B. Service B is still down here. We got here 16 seconds so that service B can be up. And then I try again for the last time. We don't have here the response. Okay. This time we still have here 10 seconds so that service B can be up. So what if we add exponential backoff to retry? Let me move right here. Exponential backoff is when we make an HTTP request to our server. It fails, then we're going to define a delay when we're going to retry it. If it fails again, we're going to double the delay. That's how it works. Now, let me move here. As you can see, this time we got in our retry service, we have exponential backoff. Let's say service A make again an HTTP request to service B. Service B is down. This time, as it failed here, I'm going to retry after 6 seconds. Okay, I'm going to retry after 6 seconds. This time, service B will be at 16 seconds. Let's say it will be at 16 seconds so that service B can be up. And then we are going to wait after 6 seconds in order to retry. Then we're going to retry again here. We're going to retry again. And then we are going to return a response to service A because service B will be down. We are going to stay with 10 seconds so that service B can be down. This time, I'm going to retry after, let's say I can pass here after 7 seconds. Let me pass here even A. Let me pass here even A seconds. Okay, we are going to suppose 8 seconds. Now we're going to retry here again. We are going to stay with 2 seconds so that service B can be up. And then as this second request here fails, we are going to double the amount. We are going to retry again after 16 seconds. Okay, 16 seconds. And after 16 seconds, service B will be already up and running. And then when we're going to retry again, we're going to return response to service A. Okay, that's how exponential backoff works. As you can see, we have here this little table. I pass here little table. Let me zoom a little bit so that you can see. As you can see, retry. Let's say the number of attempts is equal to 3. I'm not limit here. The number of attempts is equal to 3. Okay. Initial request, it failed here. Okay, it failed. Now I'm going to retry here. I'm going to do the number of attempts times 2 to the power of 0. This is going to be 3 seconds. It failed here again. We're going to do Number of attempts times 2 to the power of 1 is going to be 6. We're going to wait after 6. We're going to retry for the third time. 3 times 2 to the power of 2. We are going to get here 12 seconds. It means we're going to retry after 12 seconds. That's how exponential backoff works. Okay, you get the idea. Now we're going to get into the code and then we're going to implement this. Okay, you get the idea. So when should we retry? We should retry when we have a connectivity problem, service unavailable, resource exhausted, or we have a server fault is when we should retry. Now let's get into the code and implement retry. Now I'm going to head into the gateway is where I'm gonna put retry. Gateway. Now I'm gonna move. We're gonna get into the root folder. Inside the root folder, as you can see, we have here auth roots. Now you can see we have here login user. I'm gonna pass a retry to the function here. I'm gonna click here, and as you can see, I've already passed here another folder. Let me move here. Inside the gRPC folder, you can see we have here retry folder. Now inside a retry folder, we have a gRPC retry.ts. As you can see, pass here is a retriable gRPC header. As you can see, pass here, we tap here the header as service header. I import the tab from gRPC. Then I check here the status. If within the header we have unavailable, we have a deadline exceed, resource exhausted, we are going to return here true. We have a sleep function in order to add a small delay. We got here retry gRPC function. This is the function that we're going to use, that we're going to wrap within another function that we want to retry. As you can see, max retries is equal to 3 here. Now you can see we pass here loop. Let attempt is equal to 0. Attempt less or equal to max retries. Attempt plus plus. If we have an error, we are going to run this. If we got an error, we are going to retry. Okay. And at the bottom here is where we are the logic of exponential backoff. You can see delay is equal to 100 times max to the power of 2. And then we pass here the attempt. Okay, pass here delay. This is milliseconds, 1 millisecond here. That's how it works. Now let's get into the auth roots. And I'm going to add retry to login user gRPC function. As you can see, previously in part 1 and part 2, we got something like this. This time we're going to wrap the login user function within we're going to wrap it within retry gRPC function. As you can see, we define here response is equal to await retry gRPC. We pass here callback and return a promise. This time, if I want to log in and the auth service is down, we're going to retry 3 times. Okay, we're going to retry 3 times. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to test this. Now, let me move here. I want to tap here this command. Before we run here this, let me increase here the amount. You can see we pass here 100 milliseconds. I'm passing here 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move here. I want to increase to the number of retry here. I'm going to pass here 6. Okay. Now let me run here this. I'm tapping docker compose app and I'm pass here this. Okay, as you can see, we run our service. Then I'm gonna stop the auth service. I'm passing docker compose down. Yeah, we're gonna pass here auth service. Okay, I'm gonna stop the auth service. Okay, as you can see, we stop here the auth service. Now let's head into Docker desktop, and as you can see, the gateway is running. Okay, it haven't already running. We haven't already exported the port here. We haven't already exported the ports. Now let's wait a bit. Let's wait a bit. And when it's gonna be up, we are going to try to log in here. I've already passed here the email and password. When it's gonna be up here, we're gonna try to log in. As you can see, the gateway is up. Now let me move here. I'm gonna click here sign in, and then as you can see, if I move here, you're gonna see the auth service is down. Actually, the auth service is down. Okay, actually the auth service is down. Let's click here and see what we got here. You can see retry. Now let me run here the auth service and pass here Docker Compose app. We're gonna start the pass app. We're gonna start the auth service. Okay, and you can see right here retry 5 out of 6. Okay, they're gonna retry after this time here. Let me check here. If finish, we have here 30,000 milliseconds. Okay, finish here. Now let me do this. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to increase this amount here and pass it free. Now let's do this again. I'm going to do this Docker Compose down gateway. Okay, and I'm tap this command again, Docker Compose app gateway. Okay, I'm running here this Docker Compose down. I'm gonna pass the auth service. We're gonna shut it down. Okay, as you can see, we shut it down. Now let's move into Docker Desktop. You can see actually the auth service is down. Let me look for the auth service here. Auth service is down. We don't see it in here. The gateway is up here. Okay, is up, and we haven't already exposed the ports. Now let me wait a little bit, and then we're gonna click here sign in. When the gateway is gonna be up, I'm gonna click sign in. As you can see, the gateway is up. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move here. I'm gonna click here sign in, and then you're gonna see we are going to launch here retry. You can see sign in, and then you can see retry 1 out of 6. They retry here. Now let me run the auth service and pass the Docker Compose app. I'm gonna pass here app. We're gonna start up the auth service. As you can see, we run the auth service. Okay, you can see, let me reduce here the window, the auth service. You have already run here. Okay, you can see 4 out of 6. Okay, retry after 24,000 milliseconds. Okay, they're gonna retry after 24 seconds. Okay, let's wait a bit. Okay, let's wait a bit. Here you can see we have this. The auth service have already run here. Okay, you can see retry after 48 seconds. Let me move this at the bottom here. Retry after 48 seconds. Okay, let's wait a bit. If I move on the front end, you can see we still have here sign in, and when the auth service is going to respond, we are going to move to the dashboard. Let's go back here. You can see after 48 seconds, they're going to retry. After 48 seconds, they're going to retry. Now let's wait a bit. Let's wait a bit, guys. Okay, we're going to wait a bit. We're going to wait a bit. We're going to wait a bit. You can see retry 6 out of 6 after 96 seconds. They're going to retry. You can see actually the auth service still down. Okay, let's move here. You can see sign in. We still have here sign in. Okay, sign in. It takes a little moment, guys. Let's go back here. You can see the auth service still down. Guys. Okay, let's wait a bit. They're gonna retry after 96 seconds. Okay, I'm waiting for the auth service to be up so that the user can move onto the dashboard. Okay, let's wait a bit, guys. Okay, now you can see the auth service is running. Now you can see we still have here signing. They're gonna retry here in a bit of moments. Okay, they're gonna retry. Okay, as you can see, the auth service is running. Okay, auth service is running. Now let me move here. You can see we still have here signing. When they're gonna retry, we are going to move to the dashboard. Okay, we're gonna move to the dashboard. Okay, let me move here. We're gonna wait a bit, guys. And that's how we implement retry, guys. You're gonna try to do it and see if it's gonna work. Okay, you're gonna try to do it. Okay, you're gonna try to do it. Okay, let me see here. Okay, they're gonna retry after this number 96 seconds. Okay, yeah, you can see connected. Let me move here. You can see, cool. They take the user onto the dashboard. Okay, you can see we move on the dashboard because they retry again. Okay, they retry. Okay, they retry here. You can see we have here connected response. They return this, the name, now, email, Alberts, and we got this. Okay, the user login. You can see we take the user onto the dashboard. Okay, and that's how we implement retry. Okay, that's how we implement retry. It works actually. They take the user here. Okay, it means it works. Now, as you can see on the agent page, we don't have your data because the task service is down. Let me check here if the task service is up. Task service. As you can see, the task service is up. Now, let me refresh here and see if you're gonna get data. Yeah, you can see we got data here. The task service is up. Okay, and that's how we implement retry. Okay, and that's pretty much it, guys, for this section. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, guys, now we're gonna talk about circuit breaker. Previously, we talked about retry and exponential backoff. I give you an example where the gateway service is trying to talk to the auth service and the auth service is down. As I said previously, the auth service takes 20 seconds in order to be up. The gateway service make an HTTP request to the gateway, to the auth service. If fails, I'm going to wait 3 seconds. Then the gateway make an HTTP request to the auth service. If failed again, we're gonna double the amount. We're gonna get here 6 seconds. We're gonna wait 6 seconds, then we're gonna make another HTTP request to the auth service. If failed again, we're gonna double the amount, and so on. In making another HTTP request to the auth service, if fails, we double the amount. Now, retry and exponential backoff has some disadvantages. Let's say you have 1,000 users doing this on your website. The gateway service is going to consume a lot of resource. Now, in order to mitigate to this kind of disadvantages or issue, we're going to put in place another mechanism that we call circuit breaker. Circuit breaker is a design pattern used in microservices to stop an application from continuously calling another service when it's down or failing. Okay, that's what we call circuit breaker. So how circuit breaker works? Circuit breaker, it is 3 states. It is closed, open, half open. So what is the closed state? The closed state is when the gateway service is trying to talk to the auth service and it works for the first time. We got the gateway here, make an HTTP request to the auth service, and it works. Okay, with this kind of situation, we have the closed states because there's no issue. Now we got here another state which is open. Is when the gateway is trying to talk to the auth service and it fails repeatedly. Let's say 5 times. We are going to open the circuits. As we open the circuits, we are going to close the connection. The gateway service will not talk again to the auth service for a period of time. And we got half open. Let's say the gateway service was trying to talk to the auth service. For 5 times, he has failed here. And then we've opened the circuit. Then we're going to make a pause. After 20 seconds, we are going to open. We're going to half open the circuit. It means we're gonna make a single HTTP request to the auth service in order to check if it's up. If this request works, we are going to close the circuit. If it doesn't work, we are going to open the circuit again, and we're going to pause the interaction between the gateway and the auth service. Let me walk you through that. As you can see, we got here close. Is when the gateway service is talking to the auth service and it works pretty well. We aren't gonna open the circuits. Let's move here. We're going to open the circuit when when the gateway service is trying to talk to the auth service 5 times and it doesn't work, okay, we got here the thresholds. The gateway make an HTTP request to the auth service, failed. Okay, this time we're going to open the circuits because we already reached the failure threshold. We're gonna open the circuits, and as the circuit is open, okay, as is open, we are going to pause the interaction between the gateway service and the auth service. We're gonna pause the interaction. As you can see, circuit breaker open. Okay, we pause the interaction between the gateway and the auth service. Okay, instead of retrying. Okay, we're gonna pause the interaction. We got here another state, which is half open. After some amount of time, saying, for example, 20 seconds, we are going to retry again. Okay, the gateway service is gonna make a single HTTP request to the auth service in order to verify if the auth service is running. If it works, okay, if the gateway service got the response, we are going to close the circuit. If it doesn't work, we're gonna open the circuit again. Okay, that's how it works. If it succeeds, circuit breaker close. If it fails, circuit breaker open. Okay, and that's how it works. Okay, that's how circuit breaker work. Okay, I've already explained you what is circuit breaker. Circuit breaker is basically a design pattern that allows to stop an application from continuously calling another service when it's failing or done. Okay, we already get an idea about circuit breaker. Now, in order to understand this pretty well, guys, we are going to get into the practice. Okay, we're gonna get into the practice, and you're gonna try to understand how it works. Now we're gonna use a library that we call Opsium. I don't know how to call it. Opsium. Okay, I'm not calling it like this. Okay, run this command in order to get it. npm install Opsium. I've already installed here this package. I've already installed it, and also you're gonna install tabs of the package. Do it. Okay, do it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna jump into the code, and then I'm going to modify something within the gateway. As you can see, if I head into the source folder, you can see we have the bootstrap folder, and now I'm gonna head into gRPC. Inside gRPC, you can see we have here this folder, gRPC of clients. Now inside the gRPC of clients, we have register user gRPC. We got here this. We have a verify user email gRPC, and we got login user gRPC. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into the services, and then pass the folder. I'm gonna name it task service. Okay, and I'm pass here another folder. I'm name it auth service services. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take these files, I'm gonna import it into the task service. Okay, we're gonna move it in here like this. Okay, I'm gonna refactor this real quickly, upload in here. Okay, like this. Now I'm going to take here, as you can see, we got here gRPC of clients. I'm going to pass here another file, name it login. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, I'm gonna rename it. Let me click here. I'm gonna name it login G. Yeah, I'm passing this first, login. I'm gonna pass login gRPC. Yeah, I'm passing rpc.ts. Okay, like this. Login gRPC. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to head into the auth clients. We're gonna take here login gRPC. We're gonna take it, and then we're gonna pass in here like this, and we're going to import the function here. Let me go back here. I'm gonna move at the top here. I'm gonna take here this stuff. Okay, we're gonna take here this. Okay, I'm gonna copy the line. We're gonna use it in here. Let me pass it right here like this, and we're gonna import the gRPC of clients. Okay, let me import it. Okay, we don't export it in here. Let's go back here. We're gonna export here the client. Okay, like this. Let me go back here. I'm gonna import it in here. Okay, like this. If you want to refactor, let's say, the register, you can do this. You can copy this, and then I'll pass here register RPC, register gRPC.ts. Okay, you're gonna pass in here like this. Now let me go back here real quickly and then copy this stuff. We're gonna pass it right here. Okay, like this. Okay, like this. Yeah, we're going to go back here. Let me go back here. I'm gonna copy this. Okay, we're gonna copy this, and then we're gonna pass it in here. And passive verify. Yeah, we're gonna passive verify gRPC.ts. Okay, let me go back here, register. Let me move at the top here. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna pass it in here. Okay, now let me move first into the auth routes here. We are going to, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna import here this line. We're gonna import this line, and we're gonna import this line. Now let's go back into the Bootstrap folder. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. You can see we have here gRPC. I'm going to head into services, Auth Service, and what I'm going to do here, I'm passing another file. We're gonna name it login circuit breaker.ts. Okay, like this. Let's get into the login gRPC. I'm going to copy everything in here, and then I'm gonna pass it inside the login circuit breaker. I'm passing here. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm passing login with retry, and I'm going to pass here the email is a string, and pass here the password. This is string. I'm going to get rid of this response. I'm gonna return you this. Okay, I'm passing you the email and the password like this. And then I'm going to get rid of try catch here. I'm gonna remove try catch here. Okay, like this. Now I'm going to move at the dock of the library Opsium. Okay, I'm gonna move here. I'm going to copy the line here. I'm gonna copy the line, and then I'm going to pass in here. Yeah, we're going to import it and pass here import, and then we're gonna copy circuit breaker. We're gonna pass here from Opsium. Okay, like this. Now how to use it? We're gonna go back here. I'm going to pass here new circuit breaker. We're going to pass here the function, and we're gonna pass here the options. Now let me copy this, and then I'm going to pass it at the bottom. Pass here login circuit. Yeah, we're gonna pass here circuit breaker is equal to new circuit breaker. We're going to take the function login with try. We're gonna pass in here, and we're gonna pass here options. Let me copy this. Timeout 30 seconds, error threshold percentage, and pass here 50. Reset timeout. Yeah, we got here 30 seconds. Let me copy this. Let me go back here and pass in here. Timeout. Okay, I'm passing 20 seconds. I'm going to take now the login circuit breaker, and then we're going to pass it the login gRPC. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this and pass it this. I'm gonna copy this function, and I'm gonna comment here this, and I'm pass here this stuff. Let me get rid of this line here. I'm going to pass here this login circuit breaker, and then we are going to invoke that function. You can see we're going to invoke fire. Okay, breaker.fire. We're going to pass here. Yeah, let me move at the top. We're gonna pass here the x and y. The x and y are the inputs. As you can see in here, we have here this function, a sync function that could fail. It takes here x and y. Okay, and then it returns a promise. Now, as we want to call the breaker, the circuit breaker, we're gonna pass the fire function. We're gonna pass here the x and y. The x and y are the inputs. Now let me go back here. I'm going to pass here this. We're gonna pass here rect the body, that's email, rect the body, that password, like this. And then we're going to return the response. Let me do this and pass here cons res is equal to this, await, and then pass here return res.status, and pass here 200, yeah, 200, and then pass here that send. We're gonna pass the response. Okay, like this, response, like this. We're gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass in here. We finish in here. Now let me go back into the login circuit breaker. I wanna check here something. Okay, for the option, I think I'm gonna pass here volume. Let me pass here volume thresholds. I'm pass here 5 times. Okay, like this. Volume thresholds. I'm gonna pass here 5 times. Okay, like this. And also I'm going to pass here these events. Login circuit breaker that open. We are going to console this. Login circuit breaker on close, we're gonna console this. Half open, we're gonna console this. On reject, we're gonna console this. Timer, we're gonna console this. On failure, this, and on success this. Okay, like this, and we just finish. Now I wanna check here something. If everything is good, let me check here everything. Okay, everything is okay in here. Let me check here the options. The timer is, yeah, the timer here is 3 seconds instead of 30 seconds. Let me pass it 30 seconds for the timer. Okay, like this. And reset timer is gonna be here 20 seconds. 20 seconds, like this. Okay, like this. Now let's get into here the command prompt, and we're gonna type here docker compose app -d. I'm going to open here another window. Okay, we're gonna open here another window, and then I'm going to run here the front end. Let me move here. Okay, like this. I'm gonna run here npm run dev. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna try login here. Let me check here if we got something within the local storage. I'm gonna check here an email. Let me pass here local storage that's get rm, and pass here use data, and I'm tap enter. I'm going to copy that email because I know the password of that email. I'm copy it, and then I'm pass in here. I'm pass here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is the password. Let me go back here. I wanna check if the gateway service is running. As you can see, the gateway is running. Now let me go back here. I wanna hit here sign in. Let's try to see what we're gonna get here. Okay, actually failed here. Actually failed. Okay, it failed invalid email password. Okay, actually failed here. Let me pass here the right password. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yeah, let me pass here. The right password is 1 to 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Like this. If it doesn't work here, it doesn't work. Now let me check here. Let me check here what's going on in here. Okay, off circuit. We got here off circuit error. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, let me do this first. I'm going to head into we're gonna get into the gRPC retry. I'm not heading, and you can see in here, guys, we pass here max retries. We pass here 6. I'm going to pass here 3. Okay, for testing purpose, I wanna see if we're gonna open the circuit breaker. Now let me scroll a little bit for the exponential backoff. Let me pass here even, yeah, we're gonna pass here 3. Okay, we're gonna pass here 3 seconds. Let me get into the login circuit breaker, and you can see volume thresholds. Volume thresholds is the number of requests. Okay, let me pass here number of, yeah, I'm pass here number of HTTP call. Okay, if we make 3 HTTP call and they both failed, we are going to open the circuit breaker. I'm gonna pass here only 1 for testing purpose. I'm gonna pass here only 1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna move here. Let me do this. I'm passing docker compose down Auth Service. Okay, I'm gonna shut up the Auth Service. I'm passing docker compose app. I'm passing gateway. Let's restart the gateway. Okay, we're gonna restart the gateway. Okay, yeah, we restart here the gateway. As you can see, passing the gateway. Now let's move here. I don't see here anything. We don't restart here the gateway. let me click here, restart. We're gonna restart the gateway and then we're gonna try this. Let me move on front end. I'm gonna refresh the page and then we're gonna try this. Okay. As you can see, the gateway service is up. Now let's try this again. I'm gonna click here, sign in. Yeah, let me pass here the email and pass here Albert's. Okay, Albert's pass. Yeah, we're gonna pass here the right email. Let me pass here the right email, Albert's, and pass here 12, and then we'll pass here this password. Okay, now I'm gonna click here, sign in. Let me move here. Okay, let's see what we're gonna get here. Retry gRPC, retry 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3. I'm retrying here. As you can see, it failed here. It failed again here. Okay, let me move here. As you can see, we are going to retry after 12 seconds. And I think it's gonna fail. It failed again here. You can see off circuits. Yeah, you can see failure 14 unavailable. No connection established. Last error. Connection refused. Resolution notes. Now let me try it again here. I'm gonna click here, sign in again. Okay. Okay, we don't open here circuit breaker. I think I'm gonna reduce the time. I'm gonna reduce the time. Okay, let's try it again. Let me move here because we don't open the circuit breaker. As you can see, we have here the timeout. Okay, if one function takes longer than 3 seconds, trigger a failure. Okay, now as you can see, pass here 30 seconds and pass here 3 seconds. Okay, in order to test this, 3 seconds. Now let me move here. Okay, you can see again here we have here off circuits. Now let me click here this. I'm gonna clear out the console. I'm gonna click here restart again. Okay, the gateway again is up. Now let's go back here. I'm gonna click again sign in. Let's check here what we're gonna have here. As you can see, off circuit success. Okay, success here. Okay, let me check here. As we got success. Okay, it works here. As you can see, it works. They take me to the dashboard here. Let me see. It seems the auth service is running. Let me check here. The auth service. It seems, yeah, as you can see, the auth service is running. This is the auth service. I didn't run it. I don't know why I started here. Okay, now let me close here the service. Okay, let me close the service. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click out log out here. And then we're gonna move here, we're gonna pass here that email in order to test the circuit breaker. Pass here that email, and we're gonna pass here this password. Now let me click here, sign in again here. Actually, the auth service is down. Let me check here inside the gateway. As you can see, off circuits timeout, off circuits. Yeah, you can see off circuits. They open here the circuit breaker. Okay, circuit open. You can see they retry here 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, and again here alpha open, and then they retry here again. Let me move here. It failed. Let me click here sign in. Let's see what we're gonna have here. Okay, they open here again the circuits. They open the circuit. If I try it again, I think they're gonna half open the circuits. They're gonna try to check if the auth service is up. Okay, now let me move here. I think you're gonna have here half open. Yeah, okay, rejects, request rejected. Circuit is open. Okay, circuit is open. I think after 20 seconds, they're gonna reset. Okay, they're gonna reset the circuit breaker. Now let me try to type here Docker compose app and pass here Docker compose, pass app -d. And then I'm going to start the auth service. Let me pass the auth service. And then I'm tap enter. Okay, like this. Now as we run the auth service, let me check here if we're already running here. As you can see, we got here the auth service. As you can see, the auth service is running. Okay, it's running. We haven't already exposed the port. Now let me click here, sign in again here. Let me check. I'm not heading to the gateway. let's get into the gateway. Okay, this is the gateway. Let's see what's going on in here. You can see the circuit is open. It means we block the interaction between the gateway with the Auth Service, as the circuit is open. We cannot talk to the Auth Service. You can see in here we got half open. Now let me try it again. Here. I'm gonna move here. Let me click again, sign in. As you can see, half open. Yeah, they try to make only a single request, and then it fails. They open again the circuit in here. They open the circuit. Now let's try. Let's see if the Auth Service is running. Okay, let me check here Auth Service. Actually, as you can see, the Auth Service haven't already exposed the port. Okay, haven't already exposed the ports. Now let's wait a little bit until the Auth Service is running. Yeah, as you can see, the Auth Service is running. Now let me get into the gateway service. Let's head in. This is the gateway. Yeah, as you can see, this is the gateway. Now let's try it again here. I wanna check. Yeah, okay, let me check here what we got here. You can see, okay, invalid email password of circuit. I think the circuit is open here. Let me check here and pass here the right password. I think it's gonna work. Invalid email password. This is the right email. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay, half open. Okay, we got here half open. Let me try it again here. Let me check here, email or password invalid. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, maybe they haven't already reset the circuit breaker. As you can see right here, you can see we are going to reset the circuit breaker after 20 seconds. Okay, after 20 seconds, we need to retry again. Okay, it means we're gonna wait a bit. And meanwhile, let me check the right passwords. We're going to head into MongoDB. Let's get into MongoDB in order to check the right email that we should pass there. Let me scroll a little bit. I'm gonna move here. I'm going to copy here the line, and so I can CD within MongoDB. I'm passing here. Okay, I'm passing use. I'm gonna pass here use sales agent DB. Okay, db.users.found. Let me check here. Okay, the email. Okay, this is the email that I'm using here. Okay, this is the right email. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass it right here. I think this one is gonna work. Okay, I'm passing here. Now let me try it again. I'm going to try again here. Let's get into the Auth Service. You can see circuit half open. Now let me click here, sign in. Okay, I think actually it works. Yeah, actually works, guys. It works. As you can see, they close the circuit now. They close it because it works. The request pass. Okay, and then we got here success. Okay, yeah, it works pretty well, guys. And guys, I think you get the idea behind the circuit breaker. You get the idea behind the circuit breaker. Circuit breaker is basically a mechanism that allows a service to not talk to another service if this service is down. Okay, nothing else. Okay, and that's pretty much it, guys, for this section. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, guys, now we're gonna learn how to deploy our app to production. To deploy our app to production, we're gonna transpile it down to JavaScript. As you can see, we use TypeScript in order to develop it. If I head into within a given file here, you can see I'm using here TypeScript. Now we're gonna transpile it down to JavaScript before we deploy it to production. Now I'm gonna head into the package.json file, and what I'm gonna do here, I'm pass here two scripts. As you can see, I pass here build, I pass here tsc, and I pass another one prod in order to run a compiled project. And now let me head into here. I'm gonna head into the Auth Service. We're gonna start with the Auth Service. I'm gonna run here npm run build, and then we're gonna build it. You can see if I head into the tsconfig.json file, you can see the outer here is the this folder. Okay, we're gonna have the builds project within this folder. Okay, is where we're gonna get the artifacts of our projects. Now you can see actually I'm getting here an error. Yeah, you can see we got here option module must be set to node 16. I'm gonna copy this because we got this kind of error. I'm pass it here. Okay, we're gonna pass here module. We're gonna pass here node 16. Now let me try to compile it again and see what we're gonna get here. I'm gonna run here npm run build again. Let's see what we're gonna have here. There we go. We finished transpiling down to JavaScript. If I head into the this folder, you're gonna see we're gonna have here some stuff. As you can see, this is the build projects. Okay, this is the build projects. And what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna head into the Docker ignore file, and then I'm pass here to this folder. When we're gonna build our Docker image, I'm not gonna include this folder. Okay, we're gonna ignore it. Pass it in here. Head into Docker ignore file. Pass in here. Now, what we're gonna do next, guys, I'm going to pass. I'm gonna use here this package. Let me move at the top. I want to explain you why I'm not use it. TSC alias. So what is the TSC alias? We are going to use the TSC alias in order to resolve the path alias. Let me explain you this clearly. If I head into the package.json file, let me move here, package.json file. As you can see here, in order to start up our app, we use TSC node -r tsconfig path. This is the tsconfig path. We use the tsconfig path in order to resolve the path alias. Let me pass it in here. I'm passing npm and I'm passing this. You can see this is the tsconfig path. We use it in order to resolve the path alias. Let me head into within a service here. Let me move here. Let's say I head into the service folder, use service. As you can see at the top here, we use @. Is an alias. Let's say I don't want to use an alias. Okay, let's say I don't want to use an alias. I can do this. Import and pass here iUser. Let me comment this and pass here iUser, and then I'm do this. I'm not getting off the service folder. We need to get out the service folder first. And then we're going to pass here the models folder, and then we're going to pass here the user schema. As you can see here, I don't use the path alias. Now, in order to resolve it, I use the package. Okay, tsconfig path. In order to resolve it, we use it. Okay, we need to pass here tsconfig path. That's what I've done within the package.json file. I've passed here this in order to resolve the alias. Okay, let me pull back the alias. Now, when we're gonna compile down, we're gonna transpile down our project to JavaScript. It's not gonna work within this folder. It's not gonna work. When you're gonna try to run npm run prod, you're gonna get an error. Now, we need to convert this path alias to relative path. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this package, ts alias. Okay, let me copy this ts alias. It means when we're gonna build a project, we are going to convert this path alias to a relative path. Okay, that's why we're gonna pass you this. Now I'm gonna delete this folder. I'm gonna delete it, and then we're gonna run again npm run build. Okay, npm run build. Make sure you already install the package. npm install ts alias. Install the package within the Auth Service. Now let's run this. npm run build again. Okay, so run here this. We're gonna compile it. Okay, pretty cool. Like this. Let's wait a little bit. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into the gateway. Okay, I'm getting here an error. TSC alias is not recognized as an internal external comment. Yeah, as you can see, I'm getting here warning. TSC alias is not recognized as an internal or external command. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm not install it. It seems I haven't already installed it. Let me install it within the Auth Service like this real quickly. We're gonna install it, and then we're gonna pass you this. Okay, I'm not install it as a dev dependency. Let me pass here this. Okay, let me run here npm run build. Let's see what we're gonna have here. As you can see, actually I don't have here a warning. is I install a TS alias. I don't have a warning when I run npm run build, okay? It means everything is going pretty well. Now, what we're gonna do, I'm going to move into the gateway. We're gonna copy this to command, and then we're gonna move to the gateway. If I head into the gateway, as you can see, if I head into the package.json file, I've already do it in here. I've already built the gateway, and you can see I've passed here this folder within the .ignore file. Okay, in order to ignore this folder, we're gonna create an image. Okay, let's move into the notification service. We're gonna do the same thing. I have already do it in here. Let me get into the package.json file and pass here this. Okay, this stuff. Now I'm going to head into the .git ignore here, and then we're gonna pass here this folder. We're gonna head into the ts config, the JSON, and we're gonna pass here module resolution. We're gonna pass here Node 16. Let me head into first the gateway. I'm gonna check here something. Okay, I'm gonna check that. For the module, we're gonna pass to this. Let me move here. We're gonna pass to Node 16 like this. Now I'm gonna move into. We're gonna get into the service, which is the notification CD notification service. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to do this. Let me check here something. Okay, I'm gonna copy the command again, and then we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, yeah, let me copy it in here, and then we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, like this. Let me move here. I'm not getting to another service. Okay, I'm not getting to another service, which is the task service, cd task service. Okay, what we're gonna do here, we are going to install a package. Yeah, this is not the right package. TS config path, I've already installed it. I installed the wrong package. I should install this package. This is the right package. Let me pass it in here, and I'm pass it in here like this. Now I'm not getting to the task service. Let me get into first the package.json file. I'm gonna copy these two lines, and then we're going to head into the task service, and then we're gonna pass here something. Okay, I'm pass here this. Okay, pretty cool. Now let me head into the tsconfig.json file and pass here. I'm gonna pass to the module Node 16 in order to avoid errors. We're gonna get into the docker ignore, and then we're gonna pass this folder like this. Okay, pretty cool. We're just finishing here. Now I'm gonna run npm run builds within the task service. Okay, npm run build like this. Let's go back here, and I'm gonna run here npm run build like this. Okay, and we just finishing here. We just finished building our service. As you can see, we just finished building our service. Let me move here. Okay, let me move here. Okay, as you can see, if I head into the task service, we're gonna have here this folder. Let me check here. Yeah, this notification service, task service. We have already finished building it. Okay, notification service, you can see we got this folder here. If I head into the task service, we're gonna have here this folder. Okay, let me get in. We don't have here this folder. Okay, as you can see, guys, the build process of the task service failed. As you can see, failed here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass here this tsconfig.json. I'm going to comment here this, and then I'm gonna pass here this. As you can see, for the target here, pass ES22, module NGNIX, module resolution NGNIX. If you want to get this code here, this configuration, you can copy this header, and then you're going to pass it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT going to give you these compile options. Okay, you're going to copy it into the, you're going to pass into the tsconfig.json. Now let's try it again here. I'm going to run here npm run build again. And you're gonna see we're going to transfer it down to JavaScript. Let's wait a bit. Okay, this is our project transpiled down to JavaScript. Now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to head into the gateway service. As you can see, this is the gateway, and inside the gateway service, we got two Docker files. This is the Docker file that we use for development. Now I'm gonna pass in another Docker file that we're gonna use for production in order to run our app into production. And in here, we use multi-stage builds. So what is multi-stage Docker builds? Head on Google and type this, multi-stage Docker builds. A multi-stage Docker build is an optimization technique where a single Docker file contains multiple from instructions, allowing you to separate the build environment from the final runtime environments. And this, we use multi-stage builds basically for optimization. Okay, that is the benefit of multi-stage builds in production environments. Now you're gonna pass this from Node 22 Alpine as builder. You're gonna pass the vector. We're gonna copy the package.json file. We're going to install dependencies. We're gonna copy all file. We're gonna run npm run builds, and then we're gonna run npm prune -- production to clean up dev dependencies to save space. Then we're going to move to another stage 2, final minimum production image. From Node 22 Alpine as runner, we pass here the vector, we pass here node is equal to production, and we pass here the stuff. Okay, we expose here the ports of the gateway, and here I should pass here another ports. I should expose here to ports. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, and I'm going to pass it right here. We're gonna expose the Express server, and we're gonna expose the Websocket server. Okay, npm run prod. Okay, like this. Now what we're gonna do, I'm going to copy this. We're gonna copy this image, and then we're going to head into the Auth Service. We're gonna pass here dockerfile.prod. Then we're gonna pass here this stuff. Let me head into docker ignore. Yeah, that docker ignore. Yeah, we're going to ignore when we're gonna build our image, we're gonna ignore these two files. Then pass here, we're gonna ignore the docker file, and we're gonna ignore the dockerfile.prod. Okay, pretty cool. Let's copy the content again. I'm going to head into the notification service and pass here dockerfile.prod. We're gonna pass here this stuff. Okay, like this. Now let me check here the ports. This is the right ports. Let me go back here. Okay, let me go back into the Auth Service. I want to check here something. Dockerfile, you can see this is the right ports. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm pass it at the bottom. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. Okay, pretty cool. Now we're going to head into the notification service here. Yeah, you can see dockerfile.prod. We pass it the right port. If I head into Dockerfile, we pass it the right port too. Okay, now let's head into the task service. We're gonna pass here dockerfile.prod like this. I'm passing this. As you can see, pass this. Let me head into Dockerfile. We're gonna copy the right ports. We're gonna pass it in here. Okay, like this, and we just finished. Now what we're gonna do next, I'm going to move the root of the Microservice folder, and then I'm going to pass here another file, Docker compose that, and then I'm passing another file, Docker compose.pro.yaml. Head into Docker compose.yaml, copy everything in here, pass it in here, and here's what you're gonna do. You can see this is the gateway service. I've passed here only these two lines. Okay, I've passed here this. Let me copy this. I want to show you the difference. If I head into the Docker compose.yaml, this is the file that I'm going to use for development. And you can see I pass here only build, context. I pass here the gateway. We're going to load the Docker file. You can see I pass here build, I pass here the context, and I pass here the path of the service, which is the gateway. and we're going to load the Docker file. If I head into Docker compose.yaml, you can see in here pass here the context, which is the gateway. Docker file pass here Docker file.prod. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. I'm going to copy that. We're gonna scroll a little bit. Yeah, let me go back here. I wanna copy here the Auth Service. I'm gonna copy to the task service and notification service. I'm gonna copy this first service, and then we're gonna pass it into the Docker compose.prod.yaml. Okay, we're gonna pass it in here. As you can see, we don't have this service in here. Let me do this. I'm gonna pass this service right here, like this. Okay, like this. I'm paste this service right here. Okay, let me move at the top. Okay, I'm gonna move here this line, and I'm going to copy this. And then we're gonna move to the build section. Okay, I'm gonna pass here the context. Okay, for the context is the Auth Service. Okay, like this. For the files, Docker file.prod. I'm gonna copy this again. We're gonna scroll a little bit. This is the task service. I'm gonna pass here this. Yeah, let me move at the top. I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna scroll a little bit. We're gonna pass here this stuff. Okay, like this. Okay, for the context, we're gonna pass here the task service, like this. Okay, no issue here. Okay, like this, everything is okay in here. We're gonna move to the notification service. I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah, let me go back here. I wanna copy this stuff. We're gonna scroll a little bit. We're gonna pass here this. Okay, like this. Okay, now I'm gonna copy this, and then we're gonna pass in here. Okay, pretty cool. Like this, guys. Okay, like this. Like this, we just finished. Okay, actually, we don't have any error. Let me get rid of these comments here. Okay, let me scroll at the bottom here. I'm going to get rid of this line. I'm gonna get rid of these lines here. I'm gonna get rid of these lines. Okay, pretty cool. Let me move at the top here. I want to check something. Okay, everything is okay in here. Okay, environment. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this line, and then I'm gonna pass it to the Auth Service. Let me move here. I'll pass here the environment, Node.env. I'm gonna pass here this. Node.env is equal to production. We're gonna scroll a little bit. We're gonna move here to the task service. I'll pass here Node.env is equal to production. Notification service, we're gonna pass it to Node.env is equal to production. Okay, like this. Let me move at the top again here. I wanna check something. Okay, pretty cool. We just finished. We just finished in here. Okay, we just finished. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here is to run this. Now I'm gonna head into todo.empty, and I got the scripts that we're gonna run here. This is a command that we're gonna run in order to run our app into production. In order to spin up these containers to production environment, we're going to use this command: docker compose -f docker compose the YAML.prod app -builds -d. We're gonna run this. If you want to switch to dev, you're gonna run this. Now let me copy this, and then I'm pass it right here. Okay, task service. Yeah, let me go back. We're gonna move at the roots. This is where we got this file, and then I'm gonna run here these commands. And then we are going to build production image. As you can see, guys, all services are running. Okay, all services are running. I finished building production ready image. Okay, all services are running. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into Docker. I want to check here something. Let me chill. I'm gonna head into the Auth Service. As you can see, the Auth Service is running. Let me go back here. I wanna check another service. This is the gateway. The gateway is running. let me check here the notification service. As you can see, the notification service too is running. Okay, notification service running. Okay, is running here, and we got the bottom here. Failed to initialize RabbitMQ. Connect. Yeah, we got here an error. Failed to connect to RabbitMQ. We're gonna fix the error later. Okay, we're gonna fix the error in the future. Now let me check here something. Let me head into the task service. I wanna check if the task service is running. Okay, as you can see, the task service is running. The task service is running. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I wanna test this a little bit. I'm gonna move here. We're gonna run here the front ends. npm run dev in order to run the front ends. And now I'm gonna copy the URL and then I'm gonna pass it in here. I'm gonna try to create a user and then you're gonna see if it's gonna work. Okay, we run here the front end. Now let me try to sign up here. I'm pass here let me pass here alberts12@gmail.com. We're gonna pass here the password 1234567 to 8. Let me check here 1234567 like this. Now I'm gonna click here sign up. Let me check here. As you can see, we got this. Now let's get into Mailtrap. As you can see, we got an email here. Let me copy the code and then you're gonna use it in order to verify. Okay, let me click here again. I don't see the code. Let me move at the bottom here. I think I'm gonna get the code here. As you can see, we got here the code. I'm gonna copy the code and then I'm gonna pass it in here in order to verify. Let's pass the code like this. We verify here, code verify successfully. Now let's use that email in order to log in. I'm gonna copy here albert12@gmail.com. I'm gonna copy it and then I'm passing here. For the password, we all know the password. Let's pass in here in order to sign in. Okay, like this. As you can see, we head on the agent page here. Okay, now let me click here leads. We don't have anything in here. Okay, we don't have anything in here. Agents, leads, sessions. We got some sessions. Okay, but we don't got here an agent. Now let me pass here an agent. I don't have here an agent. Let me pass here email. Let me pass here customer support. We're gonna pass the customer support agents. We're gonna pass the category. For the go here, help user to respond. Then pass here respond to FAQ questions. We're gonna pass here the persona. For the persona here, I can pass here be professional, and pass here for the company context and pass only the e-commerce. Let's click here create e-commerce company. Let's pass here the stuff. Okay, let me copy e-commerce selling electronic devices like this. I'm gonna click here create. As you can see, we create an agent. Now let's head on the test agent page and I'm gonna select here customer support agents. Let's pass here hello and see what we're gonna get from the agents. As you can see, the agent responds. Actually, everything is working pretty well so far. Alright guys, now I'm gonna talk about NGNIX. So what is NGNIX? NGNIX is a popular open source web server that is used as reverse proxy, content cache, and load balancer. If you head on Google, you're gonna see this definition. NGNIX, pronounced NGNIX, is a high-performance open source HTTP web server used as reverse proxy, content cache, and load balancer. This is the definition of NGNIX. Okay, now let's go back into Scalable. We're gonna learn how it works. As you can see, NGNIX is positioned as the bridge between the client and our service. If a client make an HTTP request, we're gonna pass through the NGNIX server first, and then we're going to route that request to our service. As you can see, we got the client. The clients make an HTTP request to a server. We're gonna pass through the NGNIX server first, and then within the NGNIX server, we are going to route that request to the gateway. We use the gateway service in order to get access to the notification service, task service, auth service. The user cannot get access to the notification service if it doesn't pass through the gateway. You know, we don't expose the notification service ports and we don't expose the task service ports. We expose only the ports of the gateway service for security reason. Now I'm not secure to the gateway service. I'm not gonna expose these two ports. I'm gonna hide them. Okay, we ain't gonna expose these two ports to the clients. We're gonna hide them. We're going to use NGNIX. The client make an HTTP request. We're going to pass through the gateway, and then we're going to pass it through the NGNIX server, and then we're gonna route it immediately to the gateway. That's how it's gonna work. Okay, client make an HTTP request. We pass it through the NGNIX server, and then we route it to the gateway. And then from the gateway, we can get access to notification service, task service, or to the auth service. That's how you're gonna work, guys. Okay, you get the idea. You get the idea. That's how you're gonna work. We're gonna use the NGNIX server in order to hide the gateway, in order to protect the gateway for security reason. Now, heading to ChatGPT. Wanna head into ChatGPT. And then ask ChatGPT to give you a code that you're gonna pass into your Docker compose.yaml in order to install NGNIX. I've already passed a prompt. I'm gonna copy this, and then we're gonna head into the Docker compose.pro.yaml. Now what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna move at the top here, and then I'll pass here this service. Okay, which we're gonna pass here this NGNIX. The image, we're gonna use the Alpine version. You can see we pass here the ports. We pass here the container name, which is NGNIX. We pass here the ports. And as you can see, we use ports binding. We are going to run the NGNIX server on the port 80. And every request that we're gonna receive on the port 80, we're gonna write it to the port 80. If you don't have the notion of port binding in Docker, head on Google and tap this port binding Docker. They explain what is port binding in Docker. Head on Google and tap this, and then you're gonna learn more about it. If you click here, images, I think we're gonna have a lot of stuff. Yeah, as you can see in here, the container is running on the port 80. Now, when we're gonna receive a request on the port 8080, we are going to route it to this container, which is running on the port 80. Okay, that's how it works. Try to learn more about port binding. Let's continue with the code. As you can see, I pass here the ports, and I pass here another ports that we're gonna use for HTTPS. I pass here the volume. Now I'm gonna head into the gateway and pass here this stuff here in order to handle routing. Let me scroll at the bottom here. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna create a folder. I'm gonna name it NGNIX. Let me copy this. Inside the gateway, you're gonna pass the folder NGNIX. And I'm gonna copy this stuff. We're gonna pass it inside the NGNIX folder. You can see pass the upstream gateway and the upstream WebSockets. Okay, and all requests that we're gonna get from the port 80, we're gonna route them to the gateway. Okay, we're gonna route them to the gateway. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna copy this. Okay, we're gonna copy this, and then we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, we're gonna pass in here like this, and it's gonna work. Okay, like this. Okay, pretty cool. Now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna head into the Docker compose.pro.yaml, and what I'm going to do in here, as you can see in here, we expose this support. We expose here the express ports, and we expose the ports here, which is the WebSocket ports. Now we're gonna comment to these ports. We aren't gonna expose them. Okay, yeah, let me check here first. As you can see, we pass the network. We're gonna use the bridge network in order to get access to the gateway. Okay, that's cool. Now let me head into in here. I wanna run these commands. Okay, we're gonna pass here docker compose. Yeah, we're gonna run these commands. Let me move here. I wanna move here. we're going to run this command docker compose. And before we run it, let me check here something. As you can see past here, we pass the NGNIX folder within the gateway. Okay, we're gonna get an header. I'm going to move it at the roots here. Okay, we're gonna move it at the roots in order to avoid an header. Let me move it at the roots, and then we're gonna have it in here, NGNIX. Let me cut it in here, and then I'm paste it. Okay, let's move at the roots here, and then we're gonna paste it at the roots like this. Okay, as you can see, we got the docker compose.pro.yaml at the root folder. Now we're gonna get into the nginx folder, and then we're going to get access to the contents. Now let's run here this. Okay, let's run here this, and then we're gonna get the image. Okay, as you can see, actually I'm pulling up the image, and when it's gonna finish, we're gonna try this again and see if it's gonna work. Okay, we're gonna try this. As you can see, actually I got NGNIX. I finished pulling NGNIX. If I move at the bottom, as you can see, we have here a 15 containers which are running. Now let me head on the front ends. Okay, this is a React app. We're going to comment here this, and then we're gonna pass here this. Vite API URL, we're gonna pass here 80 is the ports, API version v1. We're gonna pass here Vite host URL, we're gonna pass here localhost /socket.io. We're gonna pass here this. Now let me head into the browser. As you can see, it works here. But if I comment here this and I pass here this stuff, it's not gonna work. Let me uncomment here this. Okay, it doesn't work. As you can see, we don't have access to data. It doesn't work. We don't have access to data. If I comment here this, I uncomment this stuff, we're gonna get access to the data. Let me refresh the page here. As you can see, we get here data. Let me move here, wanna chat with the agents. Let me reduce here the zoom a little bit. Let me pick here an agent. Hi, my name is Ben. Let's see what the agent's gonna come up with. Hello, Ben. It's great to meet you. I'm here to help you with any question you have about our electronic device or B2B service. Okay, as you can see, it works. It works actually. Actually, everything works pretty well. Let me try to upload a doc here. Let me click here. Let me pick here PDF. Yeah, I'm picking this huge PDF. And click here upload. Okay, file uploaded successfully, and then we're gonna kick off a background job. Let me move here. You can see we kick off a background job. We are going to embed the PDF within page vector. Okay, actually we run here job. Okay, actually works pretty well. It works pretty well, guys. Okay, do that. And then we are going to secure the gateway. Okay, do that, guys. Okay, do that. Let me move on the backend. Let me select here Microservices. And then we're gonna continue working on the backend. Alright guys, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna deploy images of our service to Docker Hub. Head on Docker Hub and pass here Docker Hub. Head on Docker Hub, and then you're gonna see this page. Docker Hub is a container registry. It's like GitHub where we keep our source code. Head on Docker Hub, create an account if you haven't already. Okay, when you finish creating an account, you're gonna log in. Let me pass here my username here. Okay, I'm gonna log in here. I'm gonna click continue, and then I'm pass here my password. Okay, once you log in, you're gonna get into the command prompt here. Let me first do this docker images ls. Okay, docker image ls. Let me see here. Actually, you can see we have the task image. This is the size. We got the notification service image. This is the size. We got the Auth Service image, and we got the gateway image. We're gonna push these 4 images on Docker Hub. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna tap Docker Hub login. Okay, like this. Yeah, let me check here. Head into ChatGPT and tap something like this. How to log in into Docker Hub via CMD. Tap this, and then they're gonna explain you how to do it. Let me see here, Docker login. I'm tap Docker login. Once you tap Docker login, you're gonna tap enter. let me tap here enter. Once you tap enter, I'm gonna click here confirm. Okay, and then we're gonna log in here. I think we're gonna log in here, guys. Let me go back here. Yeah, I'll close here something. Yeah, it works. As you can see, login succeed. Now I can push my image. Let me move here. I'm gonna move here. If I tap, I run here this. Let me run here this command. Okay, I'm tap here docker image ls. You can see we got here this image, and the version here, which is the tag, is letters. If you copy this and then you pass it into ChatGPT, how to push this image to Docker Hub? They explain how to do it. How to push this image to Docker Hub. Pass here this, and then they're gonna give you the code. You're gonna run this docker tag. Your username, I'm passing my username, and then it's gonna work. Yeah, let me pass here this microservice task service lattice. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this. For my username, I pass here my username. Okay, I'm pass my username. Okay, head into Docker Hub. Here's my username. Okay, head into Docker Hub. You're gonna see your username. Here's my username. Now I wanna pass in here. Okay, like this. Okay, I rename here that image. As you can see, I rename it. Okay, as you can see, I pass here this. And then if I pass docker push, and then you're gonna pass here my username. And then you're gonna work. Let me do this. As you can see, actually, I'm pushing that image on Docker Hub. It's like git push. Okay, it's like git push, guys. When you're gonna finish, we're gonna push that image here, which is the notification service. Let me move here. I'm going to do this. In order to give a new name to our image, in order to create a new name, I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm pass here notification service. Notification service. And then you're gonna pass here tag Microservices notification service. And then you're gonna pass here your username. Here's my username. You're gonna pass yours. And pass here this. And then I'm copying notification service. We're gonna pass it in here. Like this. We're gonna pass it this new name, and then you're gonna push it. Let me check here. I'm gonna move into another window, and then I'm gonna go back, and then I'm gonna run this command docker tag microservice notification service lattice, and then I'll pass username notification service. And then I'm tap enter. If I tap docker image ls, as you can see, we have here another service. Okay, I pass here the notification service. Okay, / as you can see, we have here my username / notification service. This is the notification service that we're gonna push to Docker Hub. I'm pass here docker push. Okay, this is the name of the image. And then I'm pass here colon lattice the version. Then we're gonna tap enter. Like this, I'm gonna push the notification service. Let me move here. I wanna push here our image. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna cd, and then we're going to add docker image ls like this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to push the auth service. We're gonna push this one. Auth service. Let me move here. I wanna copy this, and then I'm going to copy the name microservices of service. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm going to pass it in here like this. Okay, pretty cool. Now I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna take that, and then I'm passing here. Okay, docker tag microservices off. We got an error. I need to get rid of this space here like this. And I'm tap here docker image ls. docker push. We're gonna pass here this. Yeah, let me check here. This one here. Okay, let me check here this notification service. I'm gonna run here, pass here this. Docker tag microservices of service lattice. And then I should pass here. Okay, I should pass here this name. This is the right name of service. Okay, like this. Let me check here the of service. Now we're gonna run here this. Then pass the docker image ls. Okay, actually we got here this task service, notification service, and we got here of service. Now we're gonna push to the of service, docker push of service, and pass here the tag ladders like this. Okay, let's move here. Okay, we haven't already finished here. Okay, we are going to wait a bit. Okay, we're gonna wait a bit, guys, and when it's gonna finish, we're gonna push another image, which is we're gonna push here the gateway. Let me open here another command prompt. I wanna push here another image. Let me do this. cd microservice docker image ls. Now I wanna copy the command again. We're gonna pass here. We're gonna pass here the gateway. Let me move here. You can see this the gateway here. Gateway, microservices gateway. I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna pass it in here like this. Microservices gateway, and then we're gonna pass here gateway. I'm copy this, and then I'm passing gateway. I'm gonna rename it like this. Now let's copy the command, and then I'm gonna pass it in here. Okay, actually I'm getting here an error like this. Okay, like this. Docker image ls. As you can see, we got here my username gateway. We're gonna take that and do this docker push. I'll pass here my username ladders. Then I'm gonna tap enter. As you can see, guys, we finished pushing the task service on Docker Hub. I'm gonna move here. We finish pushing the notification service, and we finish pushing here the auth service. Now let me head into Docker Hub. I want to refresh here the page and see if I'm gonna get here my service. As you can see, guys, we got all our image within Docker Hub. As you can see, we got the auth service, notification service, gateway, and task service. Okay, I got 4 images in here. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this image within a Linux server. Now I'm gonna show you how to set up a Linux server. Now what we're gonna do, guys, you're gonna head on databasemart.com. This is today's sponsor of this video. Okay, head on databasemart.com. The link down in description. Okay, head on the website, create an account. When you're gonna create an account, here's what you're gonna do. When you create an account, you're gonna move here, and then you're gonna pick a VPS server. It's pretty cheap, guys. Let me scroll a little bit. I wanna check something at the bottom here. It's pretty cheap. Let me move here. I'm gonna head into my dashboard. I wanna show you something. If I head into my dashboard, you can see. If I head into my service, virtual service, let me click here. Okay, you're gonna click here, order virtual server. Okay, you're gonna pick a virtual server for $2 for testing purpose only, for $2 or for $1. You're gonna pick that, and then you're gonna get a VPS server. When you get a VPS server, here's what you're gonna do next. As you can see, I got here my VPS server. Okay, I've already ordered this VPS server. Now you're gonna do this. You're gonna click here manage. Okay, when you're gonna click manage, they're gonna take you to the page here. And on the page, you're gonna see your shared API address, your access ports, login name, and login password. Now we need to get into the server. We are going to head into the command prompt, and then you're gonna open PowerShell. As you can see, I got PowerShell here on my Windows computer. Now you're gonna run this in order to get into your server. Let me move here. You're gonna pass here SSH administrator. You're gonna pass the API address -p, and then you're gonna pass the ports. When you do that, you're gonna do this. If I tap this here and tap enter, they're gonna prompt me to enter my password. Okay, you can see administrator, they ask me my password. Now, how to give a password? You're gonna copy the password here. Okay, you're gonna copy the password here. If you don't remember the password, modify the password, and then you're gonna pass in here. Okay, let me close this window. Let me log in again here and pass here my password, and then I'm going to log in. I'm tap enter, and then you're gonna see I'm gonna log in. Okay, as you can see, I log into my Ubuntu server. As you can see, this is Ubuntu server. You can see we got here the analytics of our Ubuntu server. Now what I'm going to do here, let me pass here clear. Okay, now I'm pass here this and pass here ls. Now we are going to install Docker. As you can see, I've already installed Docker here. If I pass here Docker hyphen version. As you can see, I've already installed Docker and Docker compose dash version. Let me check here. I've already installed Docker compose 2. Now let me explain you how to install Docker. We're gonna get into the browser here. You're gonna tap getdocker.com. Tap this, okay, and then you're gonna see this script here, getdocker.com. Now here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna copy this. Step 1 is to download the script. Copy this line here, okay? Copy this, copy this, pass it in here, and then you're gonna get this file. Let me pass it ls. You're gonna see install docker.sh. Now, how to run the file? You're gonna verify the file. If I copy this, I'm gonna see the content. Okay, I'm gonna see the content. As you can see, we got the content here. Now run the scripts. Okay, you're gonna copy this. Okay, you're gonna copy this, run the script with -dry run to verify the steps it executes. Or you can run the script either as root. Run this. I've copied this. I've already do it. And then you're gonna get Docker. Okay, when you install Docker, you're gonna run this command in order to verify. You're gonna do this. Let me tap here clear Docker version. You're gonna tap this in order to verify, and then you're gonna see the version. When you finish install Docker, we're gonna install Docker Compose. Now, how to install Docker Compose? You can head on Google, and then you're gonna tap this. Docker Compose install Ubuntu. You're gonna see these steps. Copy this. Okay, copy this, and then you're gonna run this command in order to check if you got Docker Compose. If I copy this and I move here, pass it in here, you're gonna see. If I pass here the script, you're gonna see I got Docker Compose. Okay, I got Docker Compose here. Do that, or you're gonna copy, or you're gonna download the file, the link down in description. Okay, you're gonna follow the step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4, and it's gonna work. Okay, when you finish installing Docker and Docker Compose, here's what you're gonna do next. Now I'm going to move here. I'm going to pull this image. Here's the name of the image. As you can see, this image is public. As it is public, I'm gonna simply copy this. How to pull it? We're gonna copy the name. Okay, and then I'm going to head into the server. Okay, documents push. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to pull it. Docker pull, and then we're gonna pass here this the image name, and then pass here. I'm tap enter. Okay, actually I'm getting here, it doesn't work. We're gonna pass here the tag to make it work. I'm pass here ladders. This the tag is the version. Okay, and then I'm tap enter. We're gonna pull that image. Okay, permission denied while trying to connect to Docker API 8. Now let me let me act as administrator and pass it sudo su. Okay, and I'm tap enter and pass here my password, and then I'm tap enter. Let's run this command again here. Yeah, I'm gonna run it. Let me clear this stuff. Okay, we're gonna clear this stuff. Now I'm gonna run here docker pull and pass here my username / we're gonna pass here Auth Service like this, current ladders. Okay, and pass here the tag ladders like this. Yeah, I pass here the bad name and pass here ladders like this, and then I'm gonna tap enter, and then you're gonna pull it. As you can see, actually I'm pulling this image. Now you're gonna pull all these 4 images. Okay, you're gonna pull the Auth Service, you're gonna pull the gateway, you're gonna pull the task service. Okay, you're gonna pull this image within Docker. As you can see, I'm pulling this image. Okay, we're gonna wait a bit, and then we are going to pull the repository. Okay, we're gonna pull the repository, and meanwhile we are pulling this image. What I'm going to do, I'm going to modify the, I'm going to do this. Okay, you can see finish here real quickly. Let me pull here another image. Let me pass it first. Let me do this clear and pass it clear. Then I'm typing docker image ls. Yeah, let me run here docker image ls like this. It doesn't work. Docker image ls. Okay, like this. As you can see, I got here this image. I'm gonna pull here another image and pass it docker pull. I'm gonna pass here my username and pass here, yeah, we're gonna pass here task service. Okay, we're gonna pass here current ladders. This is the tag. Okay, and then we're gonna tap enter. Okay, as you can see, start pulling here an image. Now let me check here. After this, we're gonna pull the notification service. Let me cap here notification service, and we're gonna pull the gateway. Okay, let's wait a bit. As you can see, finish. Now we're gonna pull here the gateway and pass here docker. Let me pass here this first and pass it clear. I'm gonna pass here docker pull, and then I'm passing my username, and I'm passing gateway like this current. Yeah, we're gonna pass here current ladders like this. We're gonna tap enter, and then we're gonna get all this image within the Linux server. As you can see, guys, as you can see, finished. If I tap docker image ls, you're gonna see we're gonna have here all our image. You can see we have here the Auth Service, gateway, notification, task service. Okay, we got these images in here. Now I'm going to pass here directory, make there, and pass here sales agent. I'm gonna name it Microservice app. I can pass here this and pass here Microservices app. You're gonna pass here this name, then pass here hyphen. Yeah, let me delete the name here, make there. Okay, let me simply clone here the repository. Okay, let me do this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to let me clone the repository here first. Okay, I'm going to move here. Let me pass here git status, git add. I'm gonna push everything. Yeah, I'm passing git commit hyphen and pass fix errors like this. Let's push everything. Okay, I'm gonna push everything. Now I'm going to take here the URL and I'm going to pass it in here. Let me pass it the URL. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna modify the visibility of the project. I'm gonna set it to public. Because I don't want to create public keys. You know, if I want to clone the repository within this Linux server, and is private, the visibility is private, I need to set up public and private keys. Okay, and this is gonna take a lot of time in order to do. I'm gonna set it to public so I can clone it immediately, and then we're gonna run our app within this Linux server. You can see in here they already disconnect me. Let me log in again here. Now we are connected. Now I'm gonna head into settings, and then I'm going to modify the project visibility at the bottom here. Change visibility. Okay, I'm gonna click it to public, and then I'm going to understand. Okay, make this repository public. I'm pass here my password. Okay, like this. I'm clicking confirm. Okay, now what I'm going to do next here, I'm going to clone the repository. Okay, now let me move here. Okay, we got here that. Copy this. Now we're going to get into the save again. And what I'm doing here, I'm passing my password. And then after passing the password, I'm going to pull the projects. Okay, I'm tap enter. Okay, I'm logging. Now let me clone here the repository, git clone. Okay, as you can see, I clone the repository. I'm pass here, let me pass here ls. And then you can see intercom backend. I'm not city within the intercom backend. Okay, as you can see, I sit in. And now let me check here. Okay, we need to run our app. I'm going to copy here this command. I'm gonna copy this docker compose -f. Yeah, we're gonna run here docker compose -f. Okay, we're going to do this. Let me check here something. I want to check for something, guys, before we run this. Before we run this, I want to check here something. Okay, everything is okay in here, I think. Okay, I think everything is okay in here. Let me run this command here. Okay, I'm going to copy this command, and then we're going to check something. Okay, let me copy this. I'm gonna run this command. Okay, we're going to pull our image. If I move here, if I tap docker image ls, you can see we have here NGNIX. We have here NGNIX, MongoDB. We don't have here this image. We're gonna pull them from Docker Hub. Now we're gonna run this command. Then tap enter. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I'm going to run this command. I'm tap docker compose -f, docker compose the pro YAML, and then we're gonna tap enter. Okay, I'm tap enter. Okay, it doesn't work. Let me check here why it doesn't work. As you can see, I pass here this notification service. That's why it doesn't work. I'm gonna get rid of this service, and then let's copy it again and see if it's gonna work here. Okay, yeah, you can see we don't have here, inside the task service we don't have here data. That's why it doesn't work. Let me check here for something. Let me head into the Auth Service. Okay, I'm gonna check this. You can see in here we don't have here data. Okay, we don't have here data. Now what I'm going to do, I'm pass here cat. Yeah, we're gonna create a file touch, and then I'm pass here like this. Now I'm going to edit the contents. I'm gonna use vim, pass here vim.env. Okay, now let's move here of, let's copy the content, and then I'm gonna pass it in here. Okay, I'm pass it in here. Okay, like this. Now I'm going to tap colon WQ in order to save, and then tap enter. And here, let me check the content. Pass here cat in order to check the contents. .env. As you can see, we got the content here. I've already passed in here. Now I'm going to get out. We're gonna get out the Auth Service. Let me go back here, And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cd within the gateway. Let's cd within the gateway. Okay, cd gateway like this. Okay, let me cd inside the gateway like this. And what we're gonna do here, I'm passing again touch in order to create the data touch. Okay, is a tab touch. I'm going to pass again vim datav in order to edit it. Now let me move here gateway. We're gonna copy the content and then we're gonna pass it right here. Okay, I'm passing colon again w click. I'm passing again colon wq and then I'm tap enter in order to save. Okay, now let's check here the contents. I'm pass here. I'm pass it. Yeah, we're gonna pass it cut, and then I'm pass it data, and then you can see we got the contents. Now we need to get into within the notification service. I'm gonna get out here. cd no notification service. Okay, like this. Now let me pass it again. Cut data like this, and then pass it vim data. Let's head into the notification service. Okay, we have the notification service. Okay, I'm going to copy everything in here, and then I'm passing here, and again we're gonna pass here colon wq. Then we're gonna tap enter. Let's check here cut data. I'm passing cut. I'm check here. I'm passing cut data. Let me check here that like this. You can see we got the contents. Now we are going to do that for the task service. Let me do this. cd task service. Okay, let me check here. Okay, let me pass here cut. Yeah, I'm passing touch that now we're going to, as we pass here this, we're gonna pass it now vim data. Okay, let's get into the task service, and then we're gonna copy this. Okay, this data, let's copy the content. We're gonna pass it here real quickly, and boom. Now let's pass here colon wq, and then I'm tap enter. Let me check here the content data. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm passing cut data. Okay, there we go, finishing here. Now here's what we're gonna do next here. I'm going to get out this service. Let me move here. I'm going to copy now this command. Let me move here. I'm gonna copy let me copy this, and then we're gonna pass it in here like this. Okay, permission denied. Now we're gonna pass it to sudo su in order to get into administration mode. Tap enter. I'm passing my password, and then I'm tap enter. Okay, let me pass the right password. Okay, and then I'm going to tap enter. As you can see, as you can see, works. Now let's pass here this command. I'm pasting this command and tap enter. And then we're gonna pull MongoDB, we're gonna pull RabbitMQ, pgvector, NGNIX, Redis. We're gonna pull this image, and then our app is gonna run. Okay, that's how you do it. Now guys, try to practice. Head on database maths. Head on databasemaths.com. Link down in description, guys. Head on the website, and then you're gonna create a server. Okay, use the link in description, guys. Use the link in description. Okay, now let's continue. As you can see, we finished pulling MongoDB, RabbitMQ, pgvector, NGNIX, Redis, and other stuff. Okay, actually our app is running. Okay, let me check here and pass you clear. Okay, we're gonna run it clear. Let me check here something. Okay, I'm passing here this command docker ps in order to see running containers. As you can see, I'm running here NGNIX, RabbitMQ, Redis, pgvector, Mongo, and the gateway. Okay, everything is running here. Okay, let me see here. Okay, Okay, that's what we got here. Let me check here, image. Okay, as you can see, we got here this stuff. We got here auth, gateway, notification. Okay, we got here task, and everything is running. Okay, everything is running. Now, let me check here the status. Let me try to inspect here the gateway. Okay, let me do this. I'm passing clear. Now I'm passing docker peers. Okay, let me pass here the name of the gateway. Okay. Okay, I don't see other service. I don't see other service. As you can see, these are running containers. Let me zoom a little bit. Docker container ls. Let me see. I see here this container. I see here NGNIX, RabbitMQ, Redis, pgvector MongoDB, and I see here this intercom backend gateway. Let me type here docker inspect. We're gonna copy here the name here of the container. Let me see here docker inspect. Okay, this is the configuration of the container. Let me check here I'm gonna check for the logs. Okay, we're gonna move here, and then I'm gonna run here docker logs. Let me check here the logs. Okay, error response from daemon, no such container. Okay, let me check here again, docker image. Yeah, docker container ls. Okay, it doesn't work. Now, what I'm going to do in order to make it work, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move here. I'm going to move into my app here, and then I'm going to change something within docker compose.pro.yaml. As you can see, in here pass here the gateway. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pass here the name of the image. As you can see, if I tap here this docker image ls, you can see we have here this image. We have this image. Let me see the name here. We have here my username, gateway, Kalen Lattice. We are going to pass that image. You're gonna say the gateway is gonna use that image. That is the reason the gateway service isn't running. Now I'm going to copy this, and then I'm gonna pass in here. Let me scroll a little bit first for MongoDB. You can see we need to pass here the image. Okay, let me do this. For the gateway, let me pass here the image like this. Okay, so we're gonna pass here the image. This is gonna be the image for the gateway. Actually, I'm getting here an error. Okay, like this. We pass here the image. We do this for the gateway. I'm going to do this for the auth. Then pass here image, and then colon, and pass here image, and then we're gonna take here we're gonna pass here the Auth Service. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Let me check here the right name. Let me go back here. This is the Auth Service. Let me pick here the right name. Yeah, I'm going to copy this. Okay, and then we're gonna pass in here like this. Okay, let me check here. Good. Auth Service, we pass this. Now let me scroll a little bit. We're going to move to the task service and pass image, pass a color, and then we're going to copy this. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm passing here. We're going to do the same thing for the notification service. Let's move here and pass a column, and then I'm going to copy this line here for the notification service. I'm gonna copy this. Let me copy this, and then we're gonna pass it in here like this. Okay, like this. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to run this locally. I wanna check if it's gonna work, and then I'm gonna rerun it into the Linux server. Okay, and pass the docker compose down. Okay, let me check here. Docker compose down. Okay, let me get into Docker. I want to check here something. Okay, let me move to containers. As you can see, we don't have here any containers which is running. Now, let me do this. I'm going to move into the file, and then we're going to run these commands. Okay, I'm going to copy that, and we're going to pass it in here. Okay, like this, and then tap enter. As you can see, guys, on my computer it works pretty well. If I head into Docker desktop, you can see everything works pretty well. Now, what I'm going to do in order to make it work inside the Linux server, we're going to copy the content of Docker compose.pro.yaml. I'm gonna copy the contents. Okay, copy first. We're gonna copy the contents. We're gonna head into the Linux server, and what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to change here. Let me do this first. I'm not logging again here. Okay, I'm pass here the password. Okay, then tap enter. Okay, I log in again. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let me cd within the app here. Okay, as you can see, we have here Docker compose.pro.yaml. I pass here vim, and then I pass here the name of the file, docker compose.pro.yaml. Okay, now I'm going to get into the edit mode, and what we're gonna do here, let me try to do this. Let me scroll a little bit. Let me move to the gateway here. You can see we have here the gateway. I'm gonna do this and pass here the image. Okay, like this, colon, space, and then we're going to copy here this image gateway. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna pass it there. Okay, I'm passing here. Now we're going to scroll a little bit again. Okay, we're going to scroll again. You can see this, the Auth Service. And pass enter, and pass here the image, colon, space. We're gonna pass here my username, and then / and pass Auth Service lattice. Okay, and pass here lattice like this. And then we're gonna scroll a little bit again. Okay, let me continue. As you can see, this is the task service. And pass image, colon, space, pass here my username, / task service. Okay, like this, lattice. Okay, now let's continue. We're gonna move to notification service. Then tap enter, image, colon, space, my username, / notification service, colon, lattice. Okay, now we finish. I'm going to tap WQ, and then I'm tap inner. If I tap cat docker compose.pro.yaml, you're gonna see we modify here. We add here this line for the gateway, for the Auth Service, for the task service, and for the notification service. Everything is okay. Now let's run this command here. I'm going to run this command. Let me move here. I'm now heading to do.ng, and I'm going to run this. Okay, I'm not going to rebuild here. I'm going to run this because we already built the image. We're going to simply run this command. Okay, we need to get into administration mode. And then I'm pass here the password. Okay, like this. Okay, now we're gonna run this command and pass in here. Okay, as you can see, now we run the gateway, Auth Service, notification service, task service. Now let me pass here docker logs gateway. As you can see, we got here an error. You can see this node version. Let me see why we got this error. Let me move at the top. You can see node. Okay, node, they run here this command node this / index.js cannot find module express. Okay, now I see why we got this error. We need to fix it. First, I'm going to install Node.js. Let's install Node.js. Let me do this. Okay, I'm not installing Node.js. I'm passing Node. Okay, we don't have your nodes. I'm going to run this command in order to get Node.js. And then we're going to tap enter. Okay, and I'm tap Y. Okay, tap enter in order to install Node.js. Okay, as you can see, I'm installing Node.js. And then let's check here. Okay, we finish. If I tap here node-v. Okay, we got here Node.js version 18 here. On my computer, I use this version. Okay, let me go with this version. I'm gonna check if it's gonna work here. And what I'm going to do here, okay, I'm gonna cd within the, let's get into first the Auth Service. Okay, yeah, let me get into the, let's first get into the gateway. And then do this. Yeah, let me go back here, cd gateway. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to run here npm install to get package. Okay, yeah. Before I run this command, I want to check something. Let me check here this. I'm tap here docker compose app -d, and then I'm gonna pass here gateway. Okay, run here the gateway again. Now let me tap this docker logs gateway. Okay, as you can see, I'm still having here an error. Okay, I'm getting here an error. Let me install node modules. We're going to install node modules so that we can get rid of this error. cd gateway. I'm not cd within the gateway. Let me check and pass here this. I'm gonna run this command npm install. Let's run this command first. Okay, we don't have here npm. I'm going to pull npm here. Let me pull npm. Okay, I'm tap Y here in order to install npm. As you can see, we finished install npm. Now I'm going to install nvm. You can see if I tap this node-v, you can see we have here this version. Okay, this is a latest. This is an older version. Now I want to get this version. You can see on my computer I use this version in order to build the projects. I'm going to install Node version 2. Now head on Google and tap how to install NVM on Linux server. We're going to use NVM in order to switch the Node.js version. I'm gonna copy that command. I'm passing here, and then I'm tap enter. Okay, we're gonna tap enter. Okay, now let me move here. Okay, in order to refresh your environment, I'm going to copy that, and then I'm passing here like this. Okay, do that. Okay, this is the first command that you're gonna run this, and then you're gonna copy this in order to refresh your environment. Copy this script at the bottom. Now in order to verify the version, let me copy here. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm tap enter. As you can see, we have here the version. Let me do this. I'm tap clear, and then if I tap enter, if I press this, you're gonna see the NVM version. So now we're going to install Node version 22. I'm going to run this command. I'm gonna copy this, and then we're going to paste it in here. Okay, like this, and then I'm gonna tap enter. As you can see, we finished install the version. Now what I'm going to do next, I'm tapping nodes v in order to check the version. Okay, you can see this is the actual version. If you want to switch the version, you're going to tap nvm use. Yeah, you're going to run this nvm use, and then you're going to switch the version. Now I'm going to cd within the gateway, cd gateway. Okay, let's get into the gateway, and then I'm tapping npm install. Okay, like this. I'll tap here npm install like this, and then I'm gonna tap enter. As you can see, we finished installing module within the gateway. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to run it again. Let me head into the I'm going to head into the Auth Service. I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, let's get into the Auth Service. Okay, I'm gonna get into Auth Service. We're gonna get into the Auth Service, and then we're gonna run here npm install like this, and then we're gonna tap enter. After finishing installing package within the Auth Service, we're gonna get into the notification service. Let's head into the notification service, cd notification service. Okay, now inside the notification service, we're gonna run this command to npm install, and then we're gonna tap enter. Okay, for the notification service we finish. Now we are going to head into, let me get into another service here. We are going to head into the task service, and then we are going to run npm install like this, and then we're going to tap enter. As we finish adding the node modules inside the task service, now I'm going to get out of the task service, and then we're going to run this command in order to start up everything. I'm tap enter. Okay, I'm going to copy this command. Let me copy the command right here, and then I'm pass it. Okay, like this. I'm gonna pass it in here, and then I'm gonna tap enter in order to start up everything. Okay, as you can see, everything is up. Now let me tap here docker logs and pass here Auth Service. Okay, and I'm tap enter. Let's check here. As you can see, the Auth Service is running here. As you can see, the Auth Service is running. Let me tap here docker logs. I'm gonna pass here gateway. Let me tap here gateway. As you can see, the gateway service is running. Okay, you can see the gateway service is running here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check this. Let me head into the gateway. I want to check here something, gateway. Let me zoom a little bit. Source folder, app folder, you can see Express. Inside the gateway we have here the Express server. Now I'm going to eat the endpoints, and then I want to see what I'm gonna get here. Let me take here that. I'm take the URL here. This is the API address of our server. Let me get rid of this. I'm gonna take that. Let me move here. Okay, as you can see, this is the API address. Let me move into networking. Okay, as you can see, this is the API address of our server. This is the API address. Now, as you can see, I pass here this, and we got this stuff here. Okay, now let me pass it in here, and then I want to check here something. As you can see, it doesn't work. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into, what I'm going to do here, guys, we're going to head into this file here. Let me show you. Let me tap here clean. Okay, I'm tap ls. And as you can see, we have here the NGNIX. I'm now heading to the NGNIX folder. NGNIX. Okay, like this. Okay, let's see the inside the NGNIX. Okay, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to modify the configuration file. I'm pass here vim, and then I'm pass here this. Okay, now I'm going to modify here. Okay, we're gonna scroll a little bit. You can see we pass here this section. Okay, I'm gonna pass here the API address. You can see pass here your domain. I'm gonna remove this section, and then we're gonna pass here the API address like this, nothing else. This is the API address. Okay, you're gonna copy it here. Okay, you're gonna copy your API address, and then you're gonna pass it there. Once done, I'm going to save the file. Okay, I think we modify it. If I pass here cat, and then I pass the NGNIX, and you're gonna see we're gonna have here this. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're going to run this command in order to restart NGNIX. Now let me run this. Okay, I'm tap docker compose restart NGNIX. Okay, it will be, as you can see, we got here an error. Okay, now let me do this docker compose down, and I'm pass NGNIX. Okay, like this. Okay, let me do this docker compose down like this. Okay, I'm gonna close here everything. Let me do this, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to run these commands. I'm gonna recreate the NGNIX. Let me run these commands. Okay, let me do this docker image ls. Okay, we got here all this image, and I'm going to remove that image here. Okay, I can copy that. Let me check here this the ID, and then I'm pass here this docker remove image. I'm gonna delete that image, and then I'm pull it again. Okay, unable to delete. I'm pass here -force like this. Okay, error response from them. Unable to delete image is being used by running containers. Let me check here. Docker peers. I'm gonna check running container. Docker stop. Okay, we're gonna tap here docker stop NGNIX. Let's see if we're gonna stop it. And here I'm pass here NGNIX. Okay, let me check here docker peers. As you can see, we don't have here any container. Now I'm tap docker image ls. Okay, now I'm going to remove NGNIX as we already stop it. I'm going to copy the ID, and then I'm passing here. Okay, let me pass here this. Okay, I'm pass here -force. Okay, we delete it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this command. Let me head into todo.md. I'm going to copy the command in order to run everything. Okay, I'm tap this, and then we're gonna pull NGNIX as we don't have it, and then we're gonna start up our containers. Okay, now let me check here. Tap here. We're gonna tap here docker ps. Okay, you can see we run these containers. Now let me tap here docker logs and pass here gateway. Let me check here. As you can see, the gateway is running. And if I tap here, if I head into now inside the browser and I tap enter, we are going to get access to that endpoints. As you can see, we don't have anything. We got here 44 page not found. Now what I'm going to do, guys, you're gonna head into your dashboard of database marks. Head in, And here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna see a button here, add port mapping. You're gonna click on the button and then you're gonna pass here the port 80. Pass here port 80. Okay, in a port, pass here 80. I've already do it. Okay, let me close here this. You're gonna see this public API, public ports, and then inner ports, and then you're gonna see 80. You're gonna see the 80 port here. And then now you're gonna do this in order to run here. You're gonna copy the public. This is the public API. You're gonna copy this plus this. Okay, you're gonna add these public ports. Okay, if I add it in here, you're gonna do this. Okay, in order to make it work, I'm gonna copy that, and then you're gonna pass it in here. And then boom, as you can see, we get this. Save as up. If I pass here API /, okay, I'm passing API /v1 /sessions. You're gonna see we have here this stuff. Okay, we got here this stuff. Okay, let's say I want to create a user, it's gonna work. Okay, everything's gonna work. Okay, as expected. Okay, we just learn how to deploy this app into production. And guys, I think I'm gonna start from here. Okay, I'm gonna start from here. Other stuff I'm gonna show you within the upcoming video. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to do. We have to deal with security and other stuff. Okay, I'm gonna start from here, guys. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.